falling back in. We are going to watch out for VWAP at 118. We sort of targeted that area as an area for support. And if not, then the support is broken and we can easily get off of these stocks. So yeah, so far so good. We definitely want to thank you to Jeff Mendo for coming through today, for you know his comedic action there
and pumping the market.
And yeah, Jeff, get back here immediately. So right now we are long Nvidia 118.65s. I'm gonna put an offer back in like the 90s or so. See if we can get something out on the upside for Nvidia. But for now, that's Neil. I'm Sean. That's Sharif. That's Adair, and that's where we're going. Thank you to everybody. Ramin all. And Fabian.
What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade, formerly known as the Midday Show. That is your girl Adara, and I'm Sharif. And we're going to wait for everyone to come on over from the other side. We already got the OG Darwin dancing up a storm. We'll wait for some more people to come in as the market goes red on the day now. The NQ going negative, breaching that 18,270 that we closed out at yesterday. Shout out to Mateus Lane, Vikyan Novak, a proper paradox. Let's flip and go. We got Max Trading and Investing and Michael Gomez. We got Peter, Big Asian, Gorev, Stock Up, Derek, Big Bob Dub. We got Matthew Santa Cruz. We got Rare Seed as well, Botrix, Bonjamon. We got Damn, Tony Price and Midhern, Matthew Naps. We got, I don't know who this person is, Pot Profit Monster. We got Random Oddities, Derek B, Tetra, something or another there. VWAP per Trader, Tony. What's up, man? Omar, we got Jay Lee, shout out to Jay. We got Mui, sure. 420 Bud Monster. We got Brian Rubin as well. Ponzi Fonzie Blue Arrow. We got the Gauntlet Baby. Good morning, Adara.
Good morning, Sharif. How are you doing today?
Not too bad. Keeping an eye here on these, the Mag 7 as well as the Fuge as we go back to positive, Adara. So we're zigging and zagging right at that closing price. What are you looking at this morning?
So I just took a short on Tesla, and this might be another case of like, okay, I will say I risked enough here, but I probably should have gotten short where where my risk was. So I got short here in Tesla, and I liked the 227 level. That was an interesting level yesterday. Look at that support resistance flip. We've seen sometimes when you've got resistance to support, sometimes it can flip back to resistance. I like the lower highs. I was like, this is dope. This is a good look. The book was really weak. We were making those lower highs in the book too. So I was like, get short 227.30s, take some size with it, risk it into, give it 50 cents, then add if we break below 227s. We basically, we wick into 80s, which is what I was risking into because I got short 227.30s. And then we come back down. So I was like, thanks, Tesla. Cool, Tesla. Pleased to meet you, Tesla. I'm going to wait for this to set up. Happy you took the trade because that was a stock that I liked, that I had levels on. Some issues yesterday included, you know, risking too much on silliness and things like that. I was saying to Sharif, sometimes like songs will kind of be in my head and I'll be like, that'll give me trade ideas. With that in mind, I'm looking at both Boeing and then also Moderna and Lilly. I'll explain that in a bit, but just so you guys know what's on my side charts today. Roku, Micron, SPY, IWM, AVGO, Boeing, Lilly, Moderna. And then, of course, all the Mag 7 names. Let's see what Tesla does here. But the other Mag 7 name I find kind of interesting here. I like Amazon, and NVIDIA to me is looking pretty weak. What are you looking at here?
I'm looking at NVIDIA, Dara. Just made a VWAP touch right there. A quick glance and right back up it goes. It didn't, in fact, actually get into VWAP. Very close, so got into that $0.25 area. VWAP at a fifth, so we're talking pennies here. Nice hammer candle forming here on the 5. There's also this area of previous support from the opening range with which to contend. So you've got VWAP and this opening range here on NVIDIA. And as Sean told me as I got back from the walk, NVIDIA is strong again. And you look at the percentage up on the day, and we're up 1 1/3 all the while. The NQ is either flat or a little negative. So we're going to keep eyes on that. I also like the higher lows that Apple is putting in. This has been choppy for Apple lately. And where did we see this kind of pattern before? Oh, I know. Wyckoff accumulation and distribution. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but I like this daily pattern that Apple's been putting in lately, even though obviously it's been dead money, but we know what that dead money area means. We'll talk about that in a hot minute. But first, we'll talk about Fibonacci's. Let's go, baby. We're talking about these Fibonacci fan lines, very similar to the GAN fan lines that we talked about yesterday, so let's get to it. We'll explore these Fibonacci fan lines, one of the most popular tools in technical analysis. You may already be familiar with Fibonacci retracement levels, which are used to identify potential areas of support and resistance. Fibonacci fan lines, though, extend this concept of using a set of angled lines to help predict how price may behave based on the Fibonacci ratios. These lines can give us clues, essentially, about where trend reversals and corrections could ensue. So let's get right to it. And as we always do, we're going to talk about, just some of the basic stuff so that we can be all up to speed together. So these Fibonacci fan lines are trend lines, all right, that are drawn from significant high or low points on the chart, and they follow, as I mentioned, the Fibonacci sequence. We know that 38.2, 50%, 61.8. We're not going to go through all of them now, but you know them. The most important thing to remember is that these lines are angled projections of these fib ratios, okay? So instead of drawing these horizontal lines, we're going to draw angled lines. We draw angled trend lines that represent these fib retracements. And this is kind of what they look like, okay? So here's the look. I'm going to show you in a little bit exactly how to do it, but you have an area high, or an area low in this case, and an area high. So what you do is you draw a vertical line from the area high to which you're drawing the original low. So if it's an uptrend, you're starting from the low, and then you're drawing a vertical trend line at the high. And then all you're really going to do is pull your fib tool from the low to the high, and then you'll get your retracement levels. You get that 23.6, 38.2, there's your 50, there's your 61.8. So you have that vertical line there. So then what you do is you start drawing diagonal trend lines that intersect with the high vertical line that you drew. So you'll have that intersection for 61.8 over here. That 50% intersection is there. 38.2 over here. 23.6 over here. So then you have the fans, essentially. Super simple to do. Let me show you exactly how to do it IRL. Okay, so we're going to bring it in. We're going to bring in the actual daily chart. Let's see, what should we use? Apple, why not? Okay, so I'm just going to remove some of these so we can get the best picture over here. So we'll take off the MACD. We'll take off average true range as well. That should give us enough room there. Beauty. We can also take off RSI there, give us a bit more room. So we're going to drag from the local area low to the local area high here on Apple. So we all remember that 165 bottom back in April, and we all know about that 237 touch not that long ago. So here it is, super simple. We grab our fib tool, we draw from the area low to the area high. And then, this is the area high, right? So we gotta draw a vertical trend line. We take our vertical trend line tool and we draw it into the area high. Now, all we're doing is we're gonna drag and drop. So there is my 61.8. That's my 61.8 trend line right there, okay? Then I'm going to draw my 50% trend line right there. See how it's intersecting with 50 and intersecting with 61.8? And then here we're going to draw our 38.2% line. So I don't know if it's hard to see on your end, but I can see it on mine. And now we've got a fan system over here. And what these lines do is they predict areas of potential support and resistance. That's all they do. Super easy to draw. And if you have a fib tool on your charting software, it should not be hard to do at all. So you're looking from area trough to area crest. You're going to draw a vertical line at the area crest, and then you're going to draw trend lines from the trough to intersect with those retracement levels. Super simple to do, and you don't need a protractor for this one, so no gone lines involved.
That's good to know.
So here's how they're created, as I just kind of explained, but we're going to go through it again. First, you identify a significant high and low on the chart. Next, the software plots the lines angled from the starting point of the trend using the 38.2, 50, 61.8 levels. These angled lines provide insight, essentially, to where support and resistance may form as the price moves through time. Think of them as dynamic support and resistance levels that shift with time rather than staying fixed. So, for example, in an uptrend, price might retrace downwards, and the first line is we know that 38.2, it could act as support, but if it doesn't, you're looking for it to hold up at 50. That's really all that you're doing there. And again, this is reactive, not predictive. So you should look for a hold up at the level before you execute on any trade. Super simple. Just to explain again, point 1, point 2, we draw a vertical line at the area crest or area trough for the shorts, and then we draw our diagonal trend lines to intersect with the fib retracement levels through that vertical line. Super simple there. So how do they compare to these Gann lines? Because we talked about this yesterday. How do fibs compare? So both tools essentially rely on angles and can help forecast, obviously, potential areas of support and resistance, but they come from different schools of thought. Fib lines are based on the well-known fib sequence, a mathematical series essentially of numbers that occur in nature and is often applied to the financial markets, while Gann lines, on the other hand, focus purely on these geometric angles like that 45-degree angle that he believes is the most optimal angle, rather than using any sort of mathematical sequence like fib. So while both provide tools for identifying key areas of support and resistance, fib fan lines are anchored to the Fibonacci ratios, which many traders believe, have this natural connection to market behavior. Whether you believe that or not, that's a different story. So what are the practical applications that we can use these fib fan lines for? Kind of like Gann lines, we can use them to identify key areas of support and resistance. So in an uptrend, the fib fan lines are drawn from a significant low to the significant high, and then you draw your lines, and those lines, diagonal lines, are supposed to act as areas of support and resistance, kind of the same thing as the fib retracement levels, right? So when the price retraces, it may, underline may, bounce off one of the lines before it continues up on its merry way. For example, if a price pulls back from a high and then tests that 38.2% level, this could signal a buying opportunity. Again, my suggestion to you would be here, be reactive, not proactive. If it breaks that 38.2, you're looking to the next level subsequent, which is around 50. Again, be reactive, not proactive. But it's also good for gauging trend continuations and possible reversals. So one of the most useful aspects of these fib fan lines is their ability to help identify whether a trend will continue or reverse. So if a price finds support along 38.2, along 50, and then it begins moving upwards again, hence why I'm saying be reactive here, then it can indicate that the move down, the correction move is done, and we're going to continue back into the trend to the high side on our merry way. If, however, though, the price fails to hold that last line there, 61.8, I know that's not the only fib level, that's not the last fib level, but the one that we look at for most for actual reversals is the breach, a closing print below that 61.8 fan line, and you could be looking at a deeper correction or an outright reversal if it's not already underway. So keep that in mind. Your 61.8, if that gets breached, I know there are lower fib levels, but the book says that that is the one that if it gets breached, you should be looking for the outright reversal. It's also practical to use this on multiple time frames, kind of like what we talked about with Gann. So like Gann lines, fib lines can be applied fractally on multiple time frames, while on the larger time frames like the weekly or the monthly charts, they provide broader perspective on key levels. But on the smaller time frames, your 15, your 5, your 1, whatever it is, they can help identify, obviously, these shorter term trading opportunities. So they're fractal, but like with all technical analysis that is fractal, the lower down on the time frame you go, I'm talking about moving from the daily to maybe like the 15 or the 20 or 5, the higher the failure rate for these tools is. So lower failure rate on the higher failure rate on the lower timeline. And you can also obviously combine it with other technicals. That's the move. So like any other technical analysis tool, fib fan lines work best alongside other indicators. For instance, if you're using them with key moving averages, this increases the likelihood that the level will act as strong support and resistance, especially if that fib fan line really coincides with a key moving average, like that 50, like that 200. If they're intersecting or very near one another, you really should be looking for a greater likelihood of support or resistance coming in at that level. But this kind of tool or method is not without its critics and not without its limitations. The first and foremost here is choosing the starting point. I posited to you that you choose the area low and you draw into the area high, but that may be harder to do because some charts are more convoluted and there are many area lows and many area highs, so choosing one sometimes a bit tough. So one challenge with fib fan lines is that they depend on the selection of the correct starting point of the trend. if you pick the wrong one or you pick the wrong high or pick the wrong low, the lines may provide misleading signals. This can lead to incorrect interpretations of the support and resistance levels. The other thing we can do here is the uncertain predictability, guys. Just like GAN lines, Fib fan lines cannot guarantee that the price will react exactly at these levels. Market conditions are often too complex, too volatile, too nuanced to rely solely on either geometric patterns or retracement levels. So that is another drawback. And there's obviously an over-reliance by some traders on these Fib retracement levels. So while many traders swear up and down by these Fibonacci levels, there is no scientific proof, apparently, that these ratios have an inherent connection with the market movements. Some traders argue that the significance of these levels is more psychological than mathematical, which may be self-serving, right? Because it's like this moving average. If everybody's looking at that 200 EMA to act as support, there may be nothing other than the fact that a lot of people are looking at that level that it acts as support. So it might be, a self-fulfilling prophecy in that sense. With that said, I hope everybody prints up a storm.
I hope everyone prints as well. We're undergoing a bit of Broadcom, what are you doing, bro? Got long Broadcom here, 165. Then the plan was to add at 165.40. It popped up way below that. We're going to have to get out of this now. This was an L. Not super happy with this because, it was doing well and then it didn't. And the thing is, I have no words right now. Need to work on this for sure. And you know what? My thing is too, is I am not afraid to take L's because I'm literally learning how to trade in front of you guys. I know I've been here for a while now, but I'm still relatively new to these markets and I'm trying to take, I'd rather take size and risk and take L's than, and I've said that was my biggest thing. Once when I first switched live, I was just kind of trading safe stocks. I was trading comfortable stocks. But the reason I was, wanted to take this because I liked the look. Added at 166, and the reason I added at 166 because the book was holding really well there at the time. Then we get that push in the Qs, and we get out of Broadcom. So, you know what? Yeah, it happened. I wish I'd managed it better. I wish I'd been more prepared for it. My chart also kind of shut down as we had to move down, so I had to go get my P-Pro 8 chart back up. That was the whole thing. No excuses, it happens. And I will keep going. I did mention, though, however, in the chat as well, the other thing I was looking at long that actually held up relatively well, that I am a little displeased I was not able to get filled on, is IWM. I tried to get filled here 210.50 ones, I think. We got to 53s. And then she's like, oh, I'll keep running up. I was like, thanks, man. Cool. Good times. So disappointed by that as well. But you know what? You could either be disappointed or you could take the L, take the slap on the wrist, and keep learning. You're not going to have profitable positions all the time, but the point is to work towards that. And honestly, I'm the type of person I'm motivated by my losses way more than I'm motivated by my wins. That is the truth. That is the thing. And I want to stick with that. I also mentioned earlier that Boeing was on watch for me. Well, for a couple reasons. Boeing was on the watch list. Boeing has the strike news. Boeing has volume right now, about 1.5 million shares. But also, I randomly had some Frank Ocean songs in my head this morning. One of them was Pilot Jones, Boeing, Pilot, okay. The other one was Novocaine, so with that in mind, I also have, Moderna, which is on the watch list as well with its news. Moderna looking pretty good here as well, but if Boeing bounces off 162.60, this 162.60 level, or sorry, 162.20, it's gonna be a long for me, pretty small position. And then the other thing I want was mRNA, and mRNA probably setting up better for me in terms of actually coming to levels I like. Moderna, I wrote down a couple levels. They're basically gonna be every I like 69, 67, 65. Those are the levels that mRNA has been interacting with. Okay, thank you. We've got here the 65-30 level, right? We've got that interaction support resistance flip. If we can break above, though, this 66 with these higher highs, higher lows, I think this is the flat top break. To be clear, we're down in the day, so a bit of a funkier formation, but I like the flat top break here. I think you could, add potentially here at 67.40s, add again at the 68.80s. Like I said, you take the hit, you keep going. If Broadcom wants to keep holding up around that 164.60 level, cool with me. I might take a smaller position, but right now I'm just ready to see what the market wants me to trade. In the words of Obi, where's the next trade, Sharif? What's your next trade? I'm looking at
Apple right now as it possibly comes in to test the volume-weighted average price again, and if it does, it'll be a higher low type situation. So that's what I'm looking at right now. Very interesting look today on Apple. Guys, chart. Because it did get into that 222.75, and that was kind of the range that we had all pre-market, which was the closing print from yesterday. We come up into that level. Unsurprisingly, we breached 223 rather than the closing print at that 2/3, 3/4 of a dollar. But what's operative and important for me here is these higher lows. So we have this area trough right around 10 o'clock, 9:50 or whatever, into that 219.82, essentially a 220 hold. And then every subsequent low has been higher than its predecessor, with the top acting as that 223, unsurprising there. So where is the next area that I'd like to get in? It's a volume weighted average price, maybe front running it by a bit here at 221.75. I was initially looking for support to act at 222.25. Only because of the umpteen amount of topping tail candles that we had this level over here. So I figured, we used it as resistance for so long, from around 10:15 to when we broke it here at 11:05, almost an hour. It didn't actually hold up that way though, and it just came right back into 222. So maybe 222 was the actual level. So we'll keep tabs on that. I don't mind being a little bit patient today with Apple. I'd like to execute some better trades on it, and if I can definitely do that, I don't mind waiting. But I wanted to let you know that if you are tired of being late to the trade, are you always playing catch up in the market? Are you missing out of the big moves because you're too dang slow to the news? Well, if so, Benzinga Pro is your unfair advantage. Get those breaking news alerts up to 30 minutes before everybody else and pinpoint exactly why stocks are moving. And yes, join a thriving community of traders who share their strategies in real time. Are you ready to see how Benzinga Pro can transform your trading? If you are, visit benzinga.com/pro and get yourself that free 14-day trial. And if you don't, you can just scan the QR code on the screen there. So we'll keep tabs on that. How's it going, Adair?
It's good. I'm trying to figure out, like I said, I've had a lot of the Broadcom situation. I'm not going to lie, it did rock me a little bit. I want, but you can't have stop. Even if your AV go doesn't AV go the way it planned, you can't have stop. You've got to keep AV going. I'm going to stop making those puns now. Basically, I'm trying to figure out my stop situation. I mentioned this before. I struggle with being able to set stops or system for whatever reason, so I'm trying to figure that out. I am long Moderna in the meantime. This was a stock I liked earlier. We were risking here into 85s. Got long 66.10s because I liked the way that held here on VWAP. You can kind of see that interaction here earlier as well. We're going to see what we do as we get into that 66.50 area. If we break above that level, we might add a few shares. See what we do here as well, heading into 67s. But like I said, SSR stocks are some stocks I've had issues with. I was thinking about this. It's not like I've only ever had L's and SSR stock. I had that CrowdStrike trade, took that 3-point move there on CRWD, I think twice that day that they had that outage on July 19th, right? So it's you can't say you're never trading something, you're not capable of trading something. There are exceptions, and also you never know until you try. So with that in mind, I do like this move on Moderna. We'll see if this goes my MRN way. But right now we're trying to take this long, and I'm still trying to figure out my situation with the stop orders. But I like how the book is looking here at the 66s. We can't get to 66 and we try to curl right back up. Also, if AVGO rejects, okay. Hi, AVGO, I see you. So part of the reason I liked it long was because it's doing this thing. I've talked about this before on the show. I tend to find this look really bullish when you've got your bottom here and then you have a wick here. Right, so it shows that this area of 164 is a pretty strong support. However, we break below that decisively. Oh boy, I'm going short, small position. We'll see what happens. Right now, still managing the Moderna. So, and then, this Broadcom looking really interesting though too. We're gonna have to see what we do on both of these stocks. Moderna holding really nicely as of right now at 66. AVGO trying to push back up above 164, so no short for me yet, but I think if that decisively breaks 164 and retests, I am going to be very into that look. Also, Boeing still really strong. What's Boeing doing here? Yeah, Boeing, great look here. Shout out to Kelly Ortberg, who is back in the chat. I swear every time I mention Boeing, Kelly Ortberg shows up. Shout out to you, Kels. Hope you were doing well today. We do get a kick out of that joke. You know what? You got to make fun of things, even when you accidentally, as Neil was saying, thirst over the Boeing CEO. So good times there. Watch AVGO for a VWAP bounce play at VWAP at 163, says Miguel Lopez. I know Miguel Lopez was mentioning being involved in that one. A good look there. Yeah, I missed that AVGO dip at 164, clearly. Let's see what it does near VWAP. I'm not getting involved in this yet. Moderna chopping, Moderna churning. It's maturing. I don't know, Maturna. But guys, keep an eye here on any stocks you like. Go in that chat, exclamation point, join, space, $, that ticker. Because why? Because then you can have Neil and Sean look at the tickers of your choice. Why wouldn't you want that? Why wouldn't you want that confidence and that Neilage being applied to your stocks? It's a great look. Right now, yeah, trying to take more trades on the balance of the evidence and, making sure those stop orders can keep our profits protected and not in jail.
I like it.
So how are you? I see the Apple.
Yeah, we took 30 pennies quick as you like there on Apple, and I'm going to hold it for a bit more. I'm actually looking at adding at the $0.75. Beak wetter set for the next out. I'm looking at a $0.05. The ad is at $2.21 $0.75. So different dollar value here for my beak wetter and for the ad. So we'll see exactly what we get. It put in another higher low. So on Apple, so I like what I see so far. That 75 area is to test this area over here. So if it does work its way down and just hold a skosh higher than where it dipped last time around the 55 penny area. Everything good?
Yeah, no, okay. He was just whispering to me about Starbucks.
So 55 penny area, I'd like to be able to add in around there, but if I get my beak wet first at around $0.05, that's fine too. Zigging and zagging at 222, unsure how this resolves, trying to play off the higher lows. Really, that's all that it comes down to. I haven't shown you guys my small cap gappers in a sec here. I just want to see how this Apple trade resolves and whether I get filled at the 75, because I still don't have my stop out yet, right? So we're gonna have to see there. Now it's coming down a little bit here. Let's see if we can get filled at 75, having de-risked there in the mid-teens. Yeah, here it comes. Let's see if we're still about 20 pennies away from getting filled. So back my patience there. Let's go ahead and, yeah, we can look at the small cap gappers. That's fine. I can let this one go. I can just put Apple on this screen over here so I can see it. All right, let's bring in, these are what I got on the day. So GV looks awfully good right now. It's up 170 some odd percent. And here it looks like I'm gonna get filled on Apple, so I have to manage this now. So we just did get that print. So now we're gonna give this to the area low. We're gonna give it to 221. If it breaks mid-50s, then we're gone. We'll get out everything there, but we're already nicely in the money here. We'll look to wet our beak possibly up here into the mid-90s and then de-risk a little bit more if it does work its way back up. So that's the point. Scalp off the levels, guys, and there's the print again. So we'll look to keep printing on this one if we have to. Keep adding into my levels if I want to, and we'll analyze that as well. So GV, the best looking one for me over here, keeping my eye on this one. It is at the volume weighted average price. I like when they come back into technical levels. Woof. Neil made a joke about this one not breaching 5. Yeah, 499 right there, but it is back into 492. So it is doing a hell of a job here trying to fight back. VERI looked awfully good. That is until it broke below the volume weighted average price. No longer tradable for me under my system as a breakout trade. We'll see if it wants to range. PLCE, another holdover from yesterday at the volume weighted average price, putting in lower highs. Unless it really is a VWAP trade, I'm not interested too much in it. Killing it on, oh, yes, I got my print right there, baby.
There's news on Apple, too. So
we
that might
literally
help you too.
just took 50 freaking pennies just like that on Apple. Happy with this trade. Let's see if we can do a little bit more. Thank you, Ram. I appreciate you there. Let's see if what we can do a little bit more. Literally low, bottom wick, and then high wick. We're going to do it again, baby. We're going to set up Apple doing higher lows. What was the news on Apple?
Oh, yeah. It was that news that I was really excited about, too, there. Yanis B, thank you for sharing this. The FDA authorizing the first over-the-counter hearing aid software intended to be used with compatible versions of the Apple AirPods Pro headphones. Honestly, too, part of why I like that, though it would be, like, maybe weird to, wear your AirPods as your hearing aid, is that... like, hearing aid batteries are so expensive. So I actually really like the idea. Oh, they're so... Oh, my God, you have to buy them so often because they die so fast. And then also if you have Bluetooth, you could only, like the hearing aids, once they get to like a certain amount of life, you can't use it anymore. So it's really interesting, actually. Look up planned obsolescence if you don't know, but that, I think it might have something to do with that. They did that with the light bulbs where they let things only last a certain amount of time. But
why are there no rechargeable ones?
You would think, and maybe they exist, but I have never seen them. I have never, they have never been like sold to me, I guess.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, interesting. Look, sorry, I'll let you continue.
Yeah, thank you, Adair, for that headline.
That's
and
awesome.
Neil threw that in the chat. Shout out to Neil. I just wonder, did you read out Neil's thing? Or
I read out someone else's, but it's the same one.
Someone else, okay, it's the same thing. All right, so we'll keep looking over here. Guys, there's this one as well. So I wasn't done with the small cap gapper rant. I'm sorry. GEVO is ridiculous. It's been running the last little while. This one, it reminds me shades of 2020. I just want to show you guys what this bad boy did in 2020. Yes, that is not a false print. It did go to 20, or that was 2018. This is the 20. It went to $16. This was a penny stock before that, and it is a penny stock now. It had that outlying, COVID pump, you want to call it that, but it's had a decent time as of late. It showed up late August, and well, this has been 3 green weeks out of 5. Not too bad, and a week of indecision over here, the week of the 26th. So this is a big week right now. If it closes this way, it's still sub $1, setting up really, really nice on the 5-minute. Initially had, well, actually, I should say more than initially, it really has respected very much so the 10 exponential moving average on the 5 essentially all morning. I was going to say it had a bit of a dalliance there with the VWAP, but quite frankly, when I look at it a bit more, it's really respected the 10. There have been wick breaches, but the closing prints, all of them, green, red, or otherwise, have all closed above that 10 exponential on the 5 as it works its way into that $1 area. Now, let me tell you about this. I've talked about using moving averages, especially the shorter ones, as kind of informal ways to gauge overbought and oversold conditions. When a small cap gapper gets awfully extended away from the 10 exponential on the 5-minute chart for these small cap gappers, I tend to be suspicious and I wait for retracement into a more reasonable level. Now, sometimes you don't actually get the 10 touch ram. It doesn't actually come back into there, but sometimes, you have to front run it a little bit, maybe waiting at 90 pennies, whatever. Just giving you guys an idea. Keep your eye about how far away the price is extended from the 10 exponential on the 5. If you're going to trade these small cap gappers, sometimes they need to just mean revert a little bit and have a little bit of a correction, and then we'll look there. So GEVO, certainly in focus for me. TNON started the day off awfully strong. It was a #1 gap scanner on the list. Adara threw it on and rightfully so, on the watch list as it was doing big boy things. But it since has pretty much almost given back the same day, hasn't given back the entire day, but it is on its way. It looks like it wants to come into that $5 area awfully soon. It's at $5.51 as we speak. We'll see if this one can continue breaking down, Adara.
Yeah, so basically here, we are doing well here in Moderna. We've already taken some profit in Moderna. We added back in. We're being a little aggressive here. We want our shot. I'm not throwing away my shot. Shout out to Hamilton and also shout out to Moderna because shots. Shot. But basically, okay, Moderna, we initially got in here 66.10s, currently it's 66.90s. I've been adding on the way up any area of support and resistance I'm noticing on the book or the chart. I've been adding here bit by bit, decent sized position. We're going to take out, I took out about 30% of the position here, then I added back in, so same amount as what I'd initially built into. Then we're going to take out 40% of this position if we get to 67.20s. Why? Look at all these wicks of support and resistance. I want that heat, Shreve. I want that smoke.
Adara.
Now, will we get above 67s? Let's see. Moderna held 66 pretty well. So Moderna's like, yeah, what do you mean whole dollar? I'll just keep chilling above it. I'm like, okay, I respect you, but please let me keep respecting you, Moderna, and stay above this level. Happy with this trade, happy, things can go bad on Broadcom, and you just got to keep going, keep it up. Hi, Randy, how are you doing today?
Randy.
He's doing well. He's just waving. Shout out to Randy, killing it every day. Let's talk about Starbucks as well. Shout out to Obi. That was why Shreve's like, are you good? Because Obi pops up behind. He's like, Adara. And I'm like, oh, what? And he's standing in the corner there. He's like, look at Starbucks. So I know Obi's been looking at Starbucks. We were talking about this yesterday in the lunchroom. See, I had it on my side chart, but you can see it way clearer here in the big chart. Look at that. This has been running for a few days. Starbucks has been strong. You've got that 97.45 area. Make some higher lows here, 97.60s, 97.65. This looks really bull flaggish. The other thing I'm seeing though here could be a double top reversion at that 98.30. I'm going to wait to see what we do here at 98. So I'm just still looking at Moderna at 98.12s. Because 98.12 is an area we've held a couple times here. If we break below 98.12s, to me it's a little reversey, but I actually think it could be a bull flag. I reserve any opinions till I see what it does on this level. Moderna, I was like, oh, you're doing so well at 67s, and Moderna's like, I don't have to. To be clear, I can bamboozle you, Adara. That is my job. And I'm like, well, okay. But yeah, if there's any tickers you want to look at, shout out to Randy as well. Get in that chat, !join, space, $, ticker. Let us know what's making you tick today. Maybe Moderna's making you tick. Maybe Broadcom's making you tick. Maybe I'm looking at my side charts again. Or maybe you have OPLG. Maybe you have some of those tickers that Luis and Sharif are looking at and trading. Let us know there in the chat. I also, again, want to shout out your awesome Apple trade there.
I appreciate
Thank you to Quan Tran for saying they Googled it, and apparently there are chargeable hearing aids. I need to look into that. Thank you for telling me. The thing is, too, is they'll recommend different things on you depending on your diagnosis. So that's the other thing, is that you're not going to get to see every hearing aid on the market because it really depends on what they think is best for you. So I'm going to have to look into that. But anyways, thank you for shouting that out. Moderna, we're about 10 cents away from getting filled. So let's see if we get our Philly on the mRNA. Hi, Sean. Big man on campus over there. You know what? If we keep struggling 67s, we're going to get some out here at 67s, which is not what I necessarily wanted to do as of yet. But I think that's probably a good area just to de-risk a skosh. Like I said, we built into a decent position and we added fairly aggressively on the way up. So I'm cool with that. Also, AVGO, I've kind of been avoiding because I don't want to revenge trade it. But that being said, I still do like. I don't think 163 breakdown is necessarily a revenge trade. Let's see what it does at 161.50 because I feel like I've missed every opportunity at this. Really disappointed with how I traded that. There will be some journaling on that. But Starbucks looking very strong here. Let's see what we do. We keep kind of, okay, you know what we're going to do here in Starbucks?
What?
I think this is bullish. I'm going to get long, look at all these bottoming tail candles. I'm going to get long 20s. I'm going to risk into 10s. Yeah, I think we're going to do this. We're going to do this if I have the buying power for that after the Moderna situation. But yeah, let's see how it goes here. What else? How are we doing on mRNA? Let's keep updated on those fills. Okay, so we're coming down here in mRNA. Look at that 3-minute chart. See what candles we kind of have here. You know what? We'll get this to 49s. That's going to be the previous bar low. That's also a pretty big area of resistance and support flip. So if we get to 49s, I'll get out here of mRNA. But I'm also looking to get into Starbucks, though. I am not sure I will necessarily be getting filled in any capacity at that point on S to the B, to the U, to the X. How are you doing over here?
Good, Adara. I want to talk about GV because I missed this trade and I'm kind of disappointed about it. We talked about this VWAP retracement. It had been doing a real good job of respecting the volume-weighted average price. I'm talking about ticker GV. That's all that it is, two-letter ticker. It's up 187% on the day. Yes, ma'am. Just one sec. $22 million market cap and about 33 million shares traded today with a 1.9 million share float. And let me just tell you the short float, if any, 1% says trade ideas. So we'll keep tabs on that. I always wonder where my calendar thing goes, Adara, because I always open up the calendar so I can do the ad read and then it just disappears. So then we got to load it up again, which is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Funky.
So we're doing Firefly, right?
Yes.
Okay, guys, here it is. All right, I got it, Ramram. It's cool. All right, Firefly Neurosciences is revolutionizing brain health. Our groundbreaking brain network analytics technology is transforming care for patients with depression, dementia, anxiety, concussions, and ADHD. With 15 years of research and a wealth of brain wave data, we're set to illuminate the future of diagnostics and treatment. Pharmaceutical companies and medical practitioners, get ready. FDA 510K cleared BNA technology is here to supercharge your clinical trials and enhance patient care. Join us at Firefly Neuroscience, traded on the NASDAQ as AIFF, and be a part of the next big leap in neurosciences. Ignite hope, one brain at a time. Love that and hope they do well and they cure the ailments that exist in the world. So we'll keep there. We'll keep an eye out there. GV bouncing. This is the one I want to talk about here. A lot of respect for the volume-weighted average price here by GV, popping back into 6. I don't want to take this as a breakout trade because I don't feel that's how it's trading at the moment. Feels more like you're gonna have to get it off a key level. And the key level for me is gonna be to wait for a retracement into a predictable level off which it's bounced on the day, the volume-weighted average price. So it's doing what I like at the moment, but it's not in the area that I like. So that's my fault because I should have been getting in at that $6 area. PLCE kind of doing the same thing over here, also at VWAP. VERI did the same thing not that long ago, bouncing off that 3 1/3, popping back into 345. And GIVO is just getting awfully extended away from that 10 exponential on the 5. Now it's 4 pennies away on a $9 stock, 90 penny stock, excuse me. So it is at day's highs as we speak. So I'm Really interested in continuing the trades on these small cap gappers because so many are setting up. Shout out to Luis Barbado, man, who made the point that it is small cap season, baby. They come in waves. You don't have to have 4 or 5, triple digit winners on the day for there to be good setups. All that you really need to do is for them to have continuity and to be predictable in how they get off. So we'll see exactly what we get today. Can keep my eye, Dara, on these small cap gappers. I also have a dip trade set up here on NVIDIA that I'm about to get filled on, and we're going to get filled right now. I'd like to take this off VWAP. It's a bit of a risky trade here on NVDA because NVDA has been putting in lower lows. Lower highs. We still haven't gotten printed. We're waiting at 35s. We're awfully close. I thought we would get printed, and now we are printed. So come what may, let me set up my stops here. Send it to you, Adair.
Yeah, best of luck there. Those, I hope you print, as always. Moderna right now, look who did not get stopped out of Moderna. I'm shocked. I am shocked. Moderna bouncing, we're still in this here. We're like, like I said, decent position size. We're going to be getting out just under half the position here. Like I said, still like 67.20s. So we'll see if we're able to get filled there. But we're really struggling with 67s, which is interesting. Like we tried again. We didn't even get to 67s this time. We got to like 66.85s. But we're still holding this level here around that 60, what is this? Pardon?
Oh, I'm talking.
Oh, sorry.
You're
we're still holding well around the 65 level here on, or 66, 65, sorry, on Moderna. We'll see what happens there. I have a dip buy in Starbucks. That is definitely not getting filled. The baristas forgot about me. Shout out to the baristas that actually forgot about me that day. And I was ranting Sharif. I'm like, everyone talking about how good the mobile app, like how the mobile app customers are too pampered. Like, no, we're not. But anyways, I like the Starbucks here pushing above the 35, pushing above those wicks. I'm going to keep this dip buy in. I think it has a shot at getting filled. And I think it has an espresso shot at getting filled here. Not a vaccine shot. Also, shout out to my other trade here in Moderna. But I think also 35, I can risk 25 cents here to the 98.10 area. I think that's very doable. But I also think it's very unlikely I will be getting filled just looking at reality. At AVGO, I'm still looking at here. This is still pretty weak, but I don't want to, again, rush into this. I'm managing Moderna, a bit of a spreadier ticker, as is AVGO. But if we get another 162.50 rejection, again, highly unlikely. I think if we get back to 162.50, it's more likely we will bounce. Almost definitely not getting filled in Starbucks, so I'm going to cancel that for now and then wait for another opportunity to dip by. I still think it would be around the 35s, though, how the chart is currently standing. IWM, man, remember when I was talking about how I didn't get filled at 210.50s? Yeah. Currently at 211.50s. Oh. So good job, IWM. Happy for you. Happy for anyone who's long this name. You miss opportunities sometimes. It's all good. Where is the next trade? As Obi says, and shout out again to Obi for mentioning Starbucks to me, because that one has been on watch. We'll see if my espresso cup gets filled. I also want to shout out Scarjo Rabbit. Great name, by the way. Great reference there as well. Who was mentioning you, saying you is popping off here. So let's take a look at look at you and see what you is going over here. I almost said POP. Shout out to Sipu, a ticker that Sharif really liked. That was also once the winner of our audience segment.
I think
so guys,
people
vote,
just like the name.
I think that is why they voted for it, almost definitely. But let us know in the chat, guys, what ticker you would like to have some confidence shed on. It is exclamation point, join space, $, whatever ticker you like. Let's see if there's any news here on you, because you and I and everybody is probably wondering what's happening on you. Let's find out. Apparently, okay, here. It canceled its controversial runtime fee, and it switched to traditional price increases. So I guess people liked this. I'm seeing a lot of gamers on Twitter ranting like, oh, good thing they got rid of that. So that's good. I guess people are pleased as punch. And I love also the level that we popped off at here, for lack of a better term. We get a beautiful, higher lows. Then we get a beautiful, this is beautiful, rounded bottom. This type thing here coming at 17, which is also previous level. I like that. We push higher. We break above that previous resistance level at 1740s, and we just run. That is a great look. That is a really good look here for Unity. I think we're all united, and it feels so good. JKL 146 saying, getting the sense the market bottom may fall off a bit in the afternoon. Yeah, we do have sometimes these reversions heading into the end of the day. So often near the midpoint of our show as well. Also, guys, speaking of, things flipping up in the markets, I am also would like to announce, because I know some people have been like, Adara, you always wear red on Fridays. Friday the 13th tomorrow, so I'm actually going to be wearing green to see if the market responds well to that. So Green Friday, should I remember. I want to announce that because I know there was a lot of, confusion as to my red and how the market will sometimes respond to my clothing choices. So let's find out. Bearish engulfing in Moderna, but we still bounced off that level of support, so I have no reason to leave as of yet. Starbucks definitely, the baristas like forgot about me, and I'm like, hey, where's my drink, guys? They're like, oh, you ordered something? I thought you had your whole order. So all good there. I would like to know what you're looking at though over here.
We took 30 pennies on, 25 pennies, correction there on, what's it called, NVIDIA. I don't like it anymore. I gotta tell you the truth, this looks like it is going to break down, and I scalped it and got out of dodge. So it is really testing the lows, and it's an inverse hammer candle. That's not what you want to see, and that's the third successive one, which means that the shorts or whoever's selling is overwhelming buyers successively here, at least in a row. Every time the buyers try to push this up, it fails to make a new high. In fact, it makes new lows. If this one wants to respect that 118 and a quarter general area, it's gonna, for me to get back into it, the only way I'm gonna do so is if it starts curling right back up and making candles to make new highs. And I'm so happy that I got out of it because it would have stopped me out there and broke it. It's breaking down. And in fact, it did make a new low. So that's now 5 candles in a row with lower highs and lower lows, with these 3 candles, these last 3 candles being these topping tail inverse hammer candles, so to speak. Again, I'm still awfully, interested in trading NVIDIA, but it's going to have to set up the right way. If it shows that it wants to bounce off that general VWAP area and make new highs and lows, I'll get right back in on the long. Now, let's look at something else over here. The Fuge, the NQ specifically is what I'm talking about. Back in Redsville here, it has been at this closing print from yesterday, 19,270, I believe. 19,270 was the closing print from yesterday, and we used it a lot today. We used it both as resistance over here. You can see the umpteen amount of wicks that go through that level, and then all the closing prints come south. But 1015 came, or 1010 came, and we just blew through that level and then started using it as support. So we flipped from resistance to support on the future with respect to the closing print from yesterday. We're at it right now. Kind of the same thing I'm feeling about NVIDIA. If it wants to find support here, it's going to have to show me that it wants to find support by putting in successively higher highs and higher lows. That isn't happening. In fact, on the futures, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and if this candle closes this way, 7 5-minute candles with lower highs and lower lows that all closed red. And the last 3 before this one are all topping tails. Kind of the same look as on NVIDIA, just more pronounced, and it's really starting to go now. Let's see if it finds support over here. No, it is not finding support. It is going negatory on the day now, not by much, down 0.1. That's all that it is. Let's not get carried away, but we're trying to base it off levels, so I need to see if it's going to hold up there. Now, so it looks like we're going to let that one cook, do its thing. NVIDIA is now well below VWAP here, breaking down into the 117 and 3/4. So I'm pleased as dang punch for having taken profits there and not hold. Thank you, Adair. Appreciate you. Apple coming back into the volume weighted average price again and saving, except for these 2 outlying candles over here at 1035 and 1040. The wicks, not just the closing prints, but the wicks have respected the volume weighted average price, with these candles, of course, the closing prints respected, but not so much the wicks. I don't want to be first to this party either, to get in on Apple at VWAP again, just because of what the market did right now, going negatory, and I need proof that it's going to hold up. So I'm going to pack my patience, and if it wants to bounce off that level, we won't have the best price, but we will participate into a long. We'll see what we get. Let's flip back to some of the small cap gappers, see what's afoot. Oh no, GV, you're breaking down. Ram, what's going on? Yeah. It's just so funny. Yeah, this one, I was looking at getting in on this one, obviously, because of the respect that it had shown you on the day with the volume weighted average price. But that's as good as it's going to do now for VWAP. If the candle closes this way, let's see if it holds up at 5. I mean, we had kind of some support over here, but I'm more inclined to believe that this was finding support off the 10 exponential as opposed to a price level. We'll see. Anyway, this one's breaking down, and the only way I'm going to trade this is if it weasels its way back above the volume weighted average price. Woof. Also, as well, very consolidative, essentially from 1030 onwards. So we're getting the not good part of this trade today, because the breakout really happened at the open and continued through the opening power hour time. And then now we're kind of finding resistance at $5, doing a bit of a range here between, it looks like to be 480, 475 and around $5. What's going on over there? Why are you doing that? What did I pass? Like they're using the mission past animation.
Really?
I love it. Like, what did we do? I love GTA. I don't mind GTA at all. That's just GTA animation there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, Givo coming back into the 10. Okay, so now Givo might be setting up. So I was waxing poetic, to use an Adair term, about how you use the 10 moving average on the 5 as like an informal gauge of overbought and oversold conditions. This one is coming in to the 10 exponential closer than it's been since around 11:15. So the better part of almost 45 minutes. Let's load up a trading screen here on GEVO and see if we can weasel a positive trade at least into this. Yeah, here it is. We already have Givo up. Okay, so we're gonna look at Givo here. 92 pennies or thereabouts is where the volume weighted average, the 10 exponential on the 5 is. Yeah, I'm gonna go long here and I'm gonna look to add into 90 pennies and we'll defend that area. Otherwise, we'll be Gonzino there. Gorev, Micron, I should say, MU. MU looks like a liquidity grab on the hourly. I'm long from 84.75. Shout out to the Gorev, the OG Gorev is what I'm trying to say there. I didn't mean to call you the Gorev. I apologize, even though that might be a nice name. Let's look at MU. 5-minute look. Liquidity grab. Yeah, right at the volume weighted average price, Gorev. I do like that entry. I am concerned about the lower highs, and we'll see if the lows can hold on. Right now, technically, you do have a lower low through that 86.05. It is holding up at VWAP, so you know the chances of you getting a bounce here are not bad. It did hold up at VWAP here too. It had a double bottom, or I don't want to call that a double bottom, but it held up twice there on the 5-minute chart at that level. If you hold up here, Gorev, you know you probably put in another lower high, maybe a skosh below 87 bucks. Hard to tell, my man. This looks like a resistance flips to support kind of situation, but with the lower high, does it hold up here at VWAP? I hope you print up a storm, goes without saying, but let me know how that goes. I need proof that it's going to hold up at VWAP before I weasel my way in Adair.
I was going to say Micron kind of looks like a short to me, I'm going to be real. But what also might look like a short is the long I am in. I want to address this because I'm sure people saw this in my position board and were like, call me crazy, I'm long Boeing. And I want to talk about why. Because I do understand this could look weird. Initially, ain't nothing but a heartache. Shout out to Kelly Warburg. But anyways, yeah, I had to make that joke. Thank you. Yeah. But so why I liked Boeing here, initially I liked it as a short. We do have these topping tail candles. This does look like a Boeing plane and that it is headed to the downside faster than we want it to. But we have this shelf here at 162.40s. I talked earlier about how I like that 162.60 level. We never got there. We've been pretty strong around this area. So with that in mind, I took a medium-sized position here on BA. It's not tiny, it's not huge. I'm going long here 162.40s, risking into that 162.20 because I think if that cracks, like I want zero smoke. I don't want any smoke if that door flies open. I would be like Jerome Powell and say close the door. But we're taking long here. We're going to take some out here at that 162.90 level, which is the top of that consolidation range we had earlier. I'm not going to add to this position as of right now. I don't have any planned additions. Maybe later if we come back and bounce around that 162.60s, but right now we're just going to wait and see what unfolds. I did get out of Moderna. Also, yes, why I got long is because I was watching the book. The book to me has been pretty strong. We have not broken below 162.30s in the book, so that's why I wanted to take a stab at the long. I feel better about the long than I do about the short. Also, Starbucks. Okay, we'll talk about Starbucks later. Moderna, though, I want to talk about here because mRNA, I'm happy with how I got out of this long. Got out of this long once we broke below that 66, 65 area I talked about, so was able to secure some of the bag there. I took profit on every part of the position, to be clear. I lost on no part of this position, so happy with that. Not that that's what it's about, but, like I said, after that AVGO, we needed a bit of a win on a trade we felt good about, and Moderna was that. Oh, shout out to Kelly Warburg. Please just punch there. I love that this is a running joke. I actually happen to find it really funny, and why not? So
good.
Yeah, it's been great. Moderna here, though, we're bouncing off VWAP, that previous area of support. I would like to see us, though, get, like I said, 66.50s is pretty interesting to me. If we get above that, then it's a long again. If we can't, then we curl below VWAP. I think this is a bit of a curl back to the downside. BA about 10 cents out of the money here. I also got filled on Starbucks, so we'll talk about that. I want to talk. Oh, okay. It's actually looking kind of bearish now. Oh. I like Starbucks because initially we bounced here beautifully off that 98.20 area. I loved it. It was gorgeous. Then we come back and look Sharif where we bounce again.
Where,
98.20. Now it becomes a topping tail candle though. I'm risking this 98s. I know that is a bit much, but the position size allows it with regards to my risk units, which as I said, I'm working on risking instead of certain amounts, more like the portion of my risk. So with that in mind, I have zero qualms about risking into 98s here. I think that's okay. We'll see what happens here on SBUX, but BA looking like I might have to hop out of that plane. So let's see what happens there. Also, guys, make sure you vote for your tickers. Exclamation point join, space, $, whatever tickers your fancy. We are flying out of Boeing right now. Swing and a miss on that one. Looks like sometimes things just are shorts and you should not go long them. I stand by the attempt. And I stand by the management of it. It's all good there, baby. But if we keep like curling back below that 162.20, I am down to short that. Also worth noting here, I tried to short an IWM. I said I liked that like earlier, the IWM. Once we curled below the 90 MA at 211s, I tried getting short. Once again with IWM, I did not get filled. So trying to find more opportunities. I actually, though, I'm still looking at Broadcom as well. Maybe the Kadera. Broadcom was a mess for you earlier. Why are you still looking? Broadcom was a mess because I shouldn't have added where I did. What are you doing, Adara? What are you doing?
Adara,
pardon.
Can I interrupt?
Please do.
Guys, EGIO, I want to interrupt because you don't usually catch the meat of the move here with some of these small cap gappers midday. A lot of them, they move during the better or the more liquid time. Let's call it that. This one is moving right now. Shout out to Farm Trader. Thank you for calling that an important level that just got rejected. 199. That could be a top. Keep your eye out on this one. It's up 100%. This thing's really moving parabolic, and it started moving very, very late. So it just started moving 8 minutes ago. So I don't think that that's the best, that it can do. Again, I'm going to be looking for a retracement closer to the 5 exponential, 10 exponential, on the 5-minute chart. I'm not concentrating. I'm sorry. It's coming into that $2 area. I like it around 1 2/3. So shout out to Farm Trader for calling that out. Here's the details on EGIO. 11 million market cap, 7 1/5 million shares traded and just started trading essentially. 5 2/3 million share float and EGIO. We're going to shout out the short float is 10.15%. For whoever likes these small cap traders, here's one right now that's moving midday. I also printed twice already here. Thank you, Adara. On Givo, I'm still holding a piece and I'm looking for more. I got in on the retracement there simply because it was too extended off the dang 10 exponential on the 5. This seems to be a running theme with these small cap gappers. Once they get extended off that moving average, they tend to retrace a little bit in, and that's where I want to get it in. Now, there's a different way to trade these as a breakout and a different way to trade them as a range. And if you're going to take them off VWAP, that's not the breakout trade, right? You're looking for support there. In this particular case, it was still making higher highs and higher lows. It hadn't gotten to that consolidation phase. So I was okay front running it because of the momentum that it had. So that's my move on it. I'm looking for $1, obviously here. 90 pennies is where I'm going to call it quits. So I will actually look to add into key areas of support if it does come back down there. But ultimately, if it breaks below 90 pennies, Adara, I'm gone. I'm sorry to interrupt. Did you have anything you want to say?
No worries there. Starbucks popped up, then curled back down. I'm long Broadcom. And again, this is a trade where I feel like I should explain why. I liked it as a long because I liked how we held that 161 level on the book. If you break below 161, I'm out. I know, it's not showing my position here, but I am long. I'm long 161, just above 50s. The other reason I really liked it as a long is because when we broke above that level, we held it like crazy in the book. We broke below it now, so it could be a short. I'll still be watching the book for this. My stop is 161 tentatively here. That's where I'll be getting out, but I will also be watching what we have here at 161.50s because if we reject that, if we reject my entry point, I want none of that smoke. Like I said, that was a big mistake I made with one of my Qs trades. I watched it reject my entry in the book, and I did nothing, and then I got cut up. You have to trust yourself, because if you don't trust yourself, if you don't believe in yourself, what do you believe in? If you don't trust yourself, what are you trusting? But other than that, I have no other updates. I want to hear about what you're looking at here still, because you said you were.
I'm mesmerized, Adara, by EGIO, because it made me sound like a dang fool saying that I want to wait for it to come back into the 10 exponential on the 5. It doesn't care what I want, nor is it going to even look my way. This thing is going, baby. 2 1/3 right now. It wants to break. It blew through 2 like it didn't even matter. It wants to break that where it already broke the $0.25. What it can't break right now is that $2 $2.30 area. This one is really flying, guys. Wow, here we go. So this is what we're talking about when we say really momentum. This is the kind of the thing here where you try to catch these, and this is just not my style of trading. I got to tell you the truth. I hate punching in when the tape is moving like this. It just makes me feel like I have no control, and where is it going to go? And entering my stop makes me scared too, because by the time I enter my stop, it could be 15, 20 pennies below. So here we go, zigging and zagging, but a healthy little retracement right now as, you know, this one comes in. Oh, I thought you were pumping up, printing up a storm or something there. That's okay, Rammer. You're secretly talking. Shout out to Ram and Dara, man.
Shout out always to Ram.
Yeah. So anyway, rejecting off 230 here. I think I'm going to give this one a try, Dara. And if it breaks that $2 area, then that's fine. We're going to get in here and we're going to give this one a shot. So we're going to give to essentially, we're going to go we'll say 197, whatever. And then we're really going to have to give this one a little room here as it can come down. We're already out of the money on it. And I don't know why the position board is not working, guys, but it's not just Dara's computer or Dara's positions that are not showing up. I'm long right now, EGIO at, I believe, 16 or 17. I can't look at the moment. We'll see if this one, it's got to hold 2. Otherwise, I want no smoke on this one. If that $2 area doesn't hold, Gonzino. Now, where are we going to put our beak wetter in the high 20s? Because we know that 30s acted as resistance. So let's put it there to wet our beak before it continues. If it continues, underline that if. So we're zigging and zagging right now at 211. Let me tell you exactly where I'm in. I'm in at 17s. So I'm long 217s, 10 pennies out of the money at the moment. It breaks 2. I'm gone. What's your look?
Yeah, so my look here, still long Starbucks. Starbucks is chopping. Starbucks is churning. Starbucks is I'm letting it sit. I want to talk about Broadcom. So I got long Broadcom. You can't even see where I got out of the long of Broadcom because I immediately got short. Got long. Like I said, that trade out, that was... I should have waited to see what we did at 161.50 instead of putting my dip buy there. That was an L on my part. Then we cruise below 161. I get out at 161s. Then we retest here and I get short. We cannot hold 161s, and I'm comfortable risking to 161.50 because I've seen the really small position here, guys. Tiny position. Like I said, still playing with risk units, so I'm comfortable with that. Giving this to 61.50s or 161.50s. Sorry, I had, like I said, smaller position. I'll add if we break below this hard 160.40s area, and I say that because look at all these interactions. If we break below that area, I think look out below AVGO. You've been buying up for so many days. You must push to the downside. I'm still really disappointed with my performance in the stock earlier, like this last long, whatever. But this first one, I was so what is happening? I was just deer in the headlights. It was madness, or a deer in the headlines if you want to make a pun about it. It was bad. It was yucky trading. It was disgusting, and you just got to keep going. Keep pushing. I was happy, though, with what happened with Moderna. So Moderna, though, I said if we get below VWAP, I actually want to short that. So I still want to short this. To be fair, higher lows. So that is worth, that's definitely worth being aware of here. But I want to see what we do here. If we reject VWAP again, I'll get short. Also, shout out to Starbucks. I want to shout out Obi again for Starbucks, too, because Obi's the one who called out Starbucks for me. I know he's been looking at this name. I missed the initial pop off 98.25s, but I still think there could be something here. I liked how initially, A, I like that we bounced off here when we had that push down in the markets. B, I like that we're still holding it relatively well. I am risking 25 cents. It is a smaller position to kind of account for that. So, but I'm comfortable with the position size. I'm comfortable with this entry for now. We shall see what we shall see in Starbucks, but I'll add if we get above this 40s area, and then small add. And then we'll see if we can push even higher.
Can we get much higher? So high. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, 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 do.
Wow. Yeah, I love that we both know that song freakishly well. Good times.
Ram.
AVGO, oh my lord. Okay. We're getting out of Broadcom. Another L on Broadcom. And to be clear, one of these could have been a W and I managed it better. So that is on me. It's all good there. Maybe I should have waited for a better 161.50 rejection. Maybe I panicked. We'll still see. I'm not going to say no to this stock, but I'm going to continue if I trade this one again. Teeny tiny positions. Starbucks working for now, so we'll see. And that Moderna short is still calling my name. Tara, short me. So we'll see what happens on mRNA. Happy with Starbucks. And guys, please vote for your tickers of choice. ! Join space $ ticker. Someone was asking here, when is the 30-year bond auction? It's going to be at 1 p.m. We will let you know with that. We'll give you the re-auction on that the auction reaction. I heard someone though aggressively pump his fist.
I am having fun trading these dang small cap gappers, man. I got to tell you, we just went long on EGIO. We defended 2. We just took the high day break. Currently top wick. But you know, it's just smaller positions, so we're gonna enjoy the win, not gonna enjoy the money. But there is a long on the retracement. Didn't get the best price that I wanted. Would have definitely rather 10. I had to chase it. Got in a little bit, got in out the top there for now as we breach the high day. The other one that I'm just missed printing on, GEVO. I was waiting at 97 pennies. It got into 96.88s or whatever the top is there at the top wick. Obviously, it didn't cross. The trend is still strong on this one, though. The higher highs, the higher lows, they're still there. It's not really parabolic in the same way that EGIO is. My mistake. In the same way that EGIO is, and that just rocketed up, but it is consistent in the sense that it's putting in those higher highs and higher lows. So I'm happy trading this. I have one more beak wetter left on this one. I'd rather get it out at $1, but you know, yeah, maybe I'll cancel this 97 trade. Actually, I'm canceling it. I'd like to wait for $1. So I'll either get stopped out through 90s or it's going to print $1. One of the two is going to happen, or it consolidates and puts me to sleep. So GEVO, couple of beak wetters, gonna wait for that $1. EGIO, sorry, they sound alike a little bit here. Got top wick for now, but this one is doing bull flag things. Look at this, big move, kind of ziggy-zaggy right now, kind of in that consolidation range with a defined boundary of 205, essentially to the low side, 230 for the exception of the wick that I got out to the high side. So it is setting up as a possible bull flag, bull pennant, whatever you wanna call it. So we'll see if we can weasel a trade into this. What's going on over there, Katina, man? Long 118 NVDA, literally the bottom area where it retraced. He's coming into 119 right now. The dude's $1 in the money. We're gonna shout out the Katina, man. He's printing on NVDA 118 long. It's up 1 3/4%. Get it, Sean. So back to these small cap gappers. Here comes EGIO coming back into that $2 area. I'm not going to have any resting orders on this because we know how these small cap gappers trade. The bottom drops off like you wouldn't believe when it drops off. So I don't want to have resting orders. I need to get in with the momentum. So we'll see. We'll see exactly how this one does, but it is setting up very bull flaggish, and we'll look for continuity. It's already up 117%. Put some dang respect on this one's name, Adara.
Yeah.
Not you, you're good, obviously. I'm just talking to whoever doesn't respect
I
it.
appreciate that. You want to make sure people respect it. We put respect in its name, everyone. Yeah, I like that.
Get it.
Oh, also, guys, push over to the, Moo.
Neilage.
What am I saying? Sorry, Neil.
Get it, Neil.
Welcome to the lesson of the day, brought to you today by Moo, our friends over there, because rate cuts are on the horizon and the market is about to shift. Just look at NVIDIA. 1 minute you're down 35%, then bouncing the next. To protect your gains, you need Moo's trailing stop orders. Now, on the NASDAQ, Moo is your top investing app. Unlike typical stop orders, profits move up as your stock rises, locking in profits before the drop. And it works for options too. Plus, enjoy 0 commissions, 0 contract fees, 8.1 APY on uninvested cash, and 15 free stocks. Don't miss out. Check the link in the description or scan the QR code below. So shout out to Moo and thank you for them for this lesson of the day. Sometimes when you get an extreme market move one day, you can end up with a chop fest the other. And that's essentially what this market looks like in reference to what we got in yesterday's trade. You pull up the NASDAQ, which is exactly 0.1%, or at least right now, 0.1% to the upside. You had a big move. Obviously, we saw that big V-shaped recovery. You're going 700 points on the NASDAQ. Today, you're just cresting right around flat, wicks below, wicks above, and then right back in the middle. So when you get a big move in the market, sometimes, or even an individual stock, sometimes you get like a consolidative phase. What do you do on a day like that? If you're not getting the massive overall market move? 2 things. 1, you've got to make sure you're trading the names that are moving around a bit, relatively speaking. That's ideal. And 2, don't take big hits. Because if the market's not going anywhere crazy, then you sort of want to avoid the Widowmaker or anything along those lines. I mean, I'm going to use the first example. I'll get to NVIDIA in a second because it's more sexy, but I'll go to Palantir here. Love pounds here for a 35 break. If the plan of action on PLTR was holding the 35 breakout or the previous close, played a little tighter to the vest. It broke 35. It gave you a good trade. Ultimately, still like the best high was on the break of that level, and you're still running in the same resistance at 35.20. Now, ultimately, it does go down into like 34. 34.50 was before the break, and then after the break, it goes to 34.60. If you look at that, that's like 1 point down and less than a point up. So really, you're either in and range trading the stock after that attempt or finding other entries. Now, I liked VWAP in there. VWAP doesn't hold, but the plan is do not try to lose big when we're getting an inside type of choppy day, because that's going to run you into a lot of trouble. Now, you can look at something like NVIDIA, which is on the NASDAQ last I checked. NVIDIA as well. It was a chop fest. Now, the thing about this is it's a little bit different, and why I said NVIDIA is a little bit sexier, is at least with NVIDIA, it had a more clear trend. Now, you have a complete sideways on pounds here. Great. It's going top to bottom. With NVIDIA, every single time it failed the level, be willing to get out, be willing to get back in. Okay, breaks aren't working. Breaks are working. Then dips are working. Then dips are working. There's a little bit of everything, but at no point do I want to try to hold this trade to here or this trade to there or this trade into here. You know, it's not necessarily giving you clean outside of the right at the open where this double bottom in here gave you the big $4 move, which is like half what it was doing yesterday. That's the only one. Everything other than that, it's giving you $1 here, $1 there. So if you're kind of long going into this, like long in $1, it just goes back to flat on the move. That's not going to be enough, because if it works against you and we stay inside and it fails, you're going to end up with a bigger loss than you want on a trade like that. So when you have an inside day, be willing to take smaller hits to stay green on the stock. And it doesn't matter whether it's something I trade or something that I haven't. I actually have not been into Tesla, and it's almost a perfect example of this as well. Outside of, you look at the V-shape yesterday, monster V-shape recovery. And today it dips right into a support level. If you didn't have that first move up, this is a heartbeat trade. Essentially, right back into afternoon support, and then the same high the whole morning. So you have to be able to switch gears in a market like this. Certainly you can always hold on to a piece when you range trade, but if you're going to get in and say, okay, well, Tesla is going to go $10, $12 like it did yesterday, and you're longing in at VWAP there like 219, you think you got upside into the 40s or into the mid 30s or something like that, so you want to hold it $3 against you. Well, that's not the market that you're in today. You're in a consolidated sideways market. If you do that, you're just giving up dollar scalp trades over and over again sometimes too, because you're looking for that big carry up move, which is just not there in this market. And you've got to be able to read the room. Now, I'm not saying at the open you're going to know that. You don't know what's going to happen at the open. Tesla was trending great. I mean, NVIDIA had that really big move off the open. But once we saw, and I'll throw you right back into the NASDAQ, once we tested the highs and started to get range bound in the first half an hour, you could sort of see it. The volatility slowed down in the overall market. Just started going sideways. Things were no longer breaking out those highs, especially when NVIDIA failed the 120 level. It was pretty clear you're in a chop zone. So once you can identify that that's the kind of market you're in, you shift to, it's not worth big amounts of risk. Get in, get out, get your scalp trades going. An example of that, which I'm actually looking at only because I want to get back into this one, Micron. Like, it dumped at the open, recovered, now completely range bound. Open range top and VWAP. Now lower highs into that, which I think makes it weak or continues to be weak into this. But you can see range bound trade, huge V-shaped recovery, no follow through whatsoever. And then the second half of the morning, completely range bound trade, just like the rest of the market. If you're sitting in trying to get a home run, if you scalp some out, then that's not a big deal. But if you've taken no profit in there and you're giving it a wide stop on an inside day, you're just asking for a little bit of trouble. Trade the market that's in front of you. Not the one that traded yesterday, not the one that you want to happen, but the one that is happening right now. So when there is a bit of a chop fest, you can switch gears and then play off your key levels and just scalp that profit to the best of your ability. You know, so there's nothing wrong with taking 50-cent, $1 moves if it's not giving you more. Yesterday, those were 5 times. Today, that's just not how it is. So you got to be able to adjust on the fly. It's like when you're playing any kind of a sport. Sometimes you're going to play a team that wants to play a zone defense and you got to be conservative. Other times you're running up and down the court and they're full court press. The best are able to do both, and that's what you have to do as a trader. That's your lesson of the day.
That's what we call around these parts, we call it Neilage. So, shout out to Neil's lesson of the day. If you like what you heard, come back every day around that noon hour. Neil does his lesson of the day. He's always dropping this hotline. We call him the hotline dropper, Derek, because he drops hotline.
We do.
So shout out to him. Thank you very much, Neil. Eloquent, informative, and awesome. As always, Neil Roberts, baby. Took out Givo at 99 pennies. It touched one. And that's the end of the trade there. I'm really happy with this trade. Now what I see is an ugly, ugly inverse hammer candle through one. But we're still above the 10 exponential on the 5. So it's not like I'm going to be looking to get shorts awfully quick. It's got to break some levels before we watch this one maybe retrace here. So a dollar touch on GEVO, and it's coming back into about 97 pennies with that topping tail. And I just remembered, get it, Adara.
Thank you.
And I just remembered I didn't tell you guys any of the market cap or anything like that on GEVO. So it is a penny stock because it's sub $1, but it's also not really the smallest of the small cap gappers we've ever seen market cap wise. $232 million market cap, about 8 2/3 million shares traded today, which is not that much, quite frankly, for a sub $1 name. And the float, important point here, about 224 million shares, so thick. Definitely not a small float that can get parabolic. And let me give you the details on the short float, and shout out to Nos Boss and his boys over there at Trade Ideas. About 10.15% of that 225 some odd million shares is borrowed for short. So it's not like the biggest short float ever, but it's also not negligible. So we'll keep eyes on this one. If it gets above $1, that is a different trade. Now, I've said that before, only to have it retrace below $1. What the whole dollar thing does is if you take it on a closing basis, sometimes, and I really underline sometimes, you can come back and use that dollar as defense, as support. It doesn't always work, though. I saw one yesterday that breached $1 and then was happy to retrace it. And it breached about like a lot, like 20 pennies or something like that. So we'll keep eyes on GEVO if it sets up. But PLCE, Ram is really doing a nice rounded bottom here, coming into that key area of technical resistance. And there it goes, right as we called it out. Breaking through that 1075, 1070 area now, knocking the door of 1080. 1089 is the high of the day. We're 4 pennies away from that. We just printed 85s. 89 is the high. There was a double top there in the implied balance open at 10 o'clock and 9:45. Rejected this 1090 level. So we'll see if it can weasel its way up into 11. Looking real good, man. Held VWAP midday at around 11:30. Multiple holds at VWAP and then incrementally putting in higher highs and higher lows. PLCE, a holdover from yesterday, guys, and it's looking good.
Yeah, you know what? Also, I cannot believe I'm in 3 trades right now. I am. We are in Broadcom. We've already taken. I know I thought you said Broadcom was dead to you. Okay, no. I mean, okay, I didn't word it like that. But I just was not happy with the decisions being made. But like also, I had liked this 161 level. My thing was Adara, play it better. I got long 162, risked it into 161.50, small position, because I knew that 161.50 level was of interest, right? I chopped around it enough to know that at that point, right? So I said, then if you break up a VWAP, you add, and then you risk it into 162. So honestly, I had based on how I kind of structured this position, I was risking the same amount or same percentage of my total risk both times. So I was really happy with that. We're taking this into 164, Sharif.
Get it,
because that was a huge support resistance level, and I'm actually giving it I think 10 cents above 164, just because I don't really, I don't really trust Broadcom. We're going to trust myself with Broadcom, but that Broadcom 164 level was so wild. Like, it took us a while to break this, so I want to be cautious with that. Right now, to be clear, we, like I said, got $1 out of this first part of the position, currently about 80 cents in the money with the second half, so let's see how this goes. But I'm not trading for P&L, Sharif, I'm trading for progress, and I am trading for learning. Let's talk about the other 2 positions. Moderna, I love this VWAP short. This one did give me a little bit of a moment of strife because we had this bottoming tail candle, but I said, Dare, you're risking this into, I'm risking this into 20s. So if it stays below 62.20s, and to be clear, I don't even think, or 66.20s, I don't even think it's broken above like 66.05 since I've been in it. We will stay in this position. I have no plans to add. we're just going to kind of take this for what it is. But Starbucks is my third position. I do want to shout out Obi as well for letting me know about the gorgeous range on this. We had the range breakout. I took it long. I do not know if we're going to get the beautiful move I want in this. I don't know if I'm going to get my full espresso Starbucks Sharif, but we already added once we broke above 40s. We're going to be taking some out here. I think like just under half the position. If we get to that 98.60s, I have set this order for a while, but I don't know if we're going to necessarily get the level that I want. Broadcom is still looking pretty nice here. I think Moderna might have to be, if I see stuff I don't like in the book, truthfully, I'll get out of this earlier, just given the fact that we are legally having higher highs, higher lows, and we have that bottoming tail candle. How is Sean doing over there?
He's good. Apparently, he's printing on a Palantir. He's long 70s at 35.70, I believe, or 34.70. And it's really going, guys. It's only up 1.25% on the day. It's not like parabolic, but that is a beautiful move. 11:30 onward. Shout out to whoever called that in the chat. I just saw that. Keeping my eye certainly on Palantir today. Very thickly traded today. What is the volume on this? Already 31.5 million shares. And it's no longer like that $10, $15 stock anymore, guys. It's a $35 stock. So let's keep our eye on this one. Beautiful move off that. And it held that general 70, 75 pennies area. I don't want to say exactly 75 pennies because it obviously did break, but generally that $0.75, 34.75, a bit of a double bottom there. Let's have a look. Maybe even a triple bottom, you could say, on the 1 minute, that is, of course. There is the initial touch, 10:45. We got another touch there at 11, and then the last harassment here at 11:27, and then up it goes through 35 into 35 and a fifth. So up 1 1/5 right now. We'll see how it goes. I'm in Apple right now, trying to do this VWAP hold trade. We're zigging and zagging right now at 19.3 on the NQ September contract. I want to see if we hold VWAP. This is a VWAP trade. Nothing specific about this other than a VWAP hold. And the only reason I'm in at VWAP, not because I just like saying VWAP, but because Apple has held up at VWAP for the majority of the day. There's only this one outlying candle over here at 10:35 that broke it on really broke it on a wick basis. Other than that, you've been kind of holding up at the volume weighted average price for the majority of the day. We'll see if that continues to hold. But if we give up 19.3 here and we start curling back down, there's no way VWAP holds. So that's what it looks like we're doing right now, zigging and zagging a little above 19.3, a little bit below. I'm trying to give this one enough room, but it may not be enough. What's the low of this candle over here? 62. So I'm giving it to below the low of the previous candle. That's good enough for me. Doesn't end up working, but we're going to pack our patience and see what we get, and we will not get upset. Now, AMZN, kind of doing the same thing as Apple, but from the sell side. So it's been ranging with the volume weighted average price, but from the lower part, not from the higher part. So now it's ascending above the closing print from yesterday, which is essentially around 184.5, working its way back into that mid-90s area. Was only able to breach that once during the midday here, 11:10, 11:15, and then it was basically a double top through into, 185, and then we came back and we tried to defend. We did, in fact, defend 184. Ascending now into that volume-weighted average price at around 184.90. We're going to have to pack our patience and see what we get here, see if we can get a move back up. The future above 19.3 again. However, Apple still at VWAP, still at 70s. Nothing printing on AAPL right now. Let's talk about Tesla, because it's also at VWAP with lower highs, and that's the most operative thing to me. Sure, it's getting back into VWAP. It has a double bottom at around 227-ish, maybe 226.75. Defended that level, coming right back up. But what I see here is incrementally lower highs. We need to break that 230.25, 230 to really change that narrative of lower highs. So TSLA also doing its thing, 21 on the day. Softy trying to curl up here as the future holds above 19.3. Softy breaking through the 20 exponential on the first time in the better part of an hour. Last time we had that break, 11:15. It's 12:22. So we're breaking through that level now. Volume weighted average price waiting at that 421, a little below the $0.50. In fact, the 50 exponential and VWAP intersecting right now on the 5-minute chart on the soft one. So we'll see what we get there, Adair.
Yeah, I mean, we did get out of Moderna, and like I said, I'm disappointed because I should have just I didn't get to go where I wanted to just because of the spread on that wasn't able to get filled. I need to work on that. But basically, my issue is I should have gotten out of this way earlier, and I was like, oh, I don't feel good about it. Why did I stay? honestly, like, shout out to Stevie Wonder with that song, why didn't you stay? In this case, why did I stay on Moderna? But let's see what happens here. I'm watching Broadcom. Okay, what did we got filled on something here. Did we?
Okay.
I feel like something got filled, but I cannot tell what got filled. We'll never know. No, I'm joking. I think I saw something go off, but I don't know what. Oh yeah, I know what got filled. Okay, so Broadcom. This dip buy here at 163. To be clear, this was on plan, and I don't like doing unplanned DCAs, but basically what I did was a quick risk assessment, and I stood by it. So initially, I was going to risk here into 162.50s with the rest of this position, which would be break even at the time. I'm still risking, though, into 162.50s, and let me tell you why. Because with my, adding here, I still, with my risk management principles, risking the same amount in terms of portion of my risk, so that's why I'm cool with that. I have a feeling this ad might not have worked out, but I liked it because the book was holding up really nicely there at that 163, and I was like, okay, dope, Adara, you owe it to yourself to add here. You're not trading for P&L, you're trading for progress, and you're trading for learning, and that's why I don't mind, within reason, taking L's or getting it for flat and stuff sometimes. Obviously, it's disappointing. Like I said, I'm still very much working on my risk management, but that's why I thought for this risk assessment, the risk to reward on that ad was to me fair. So I got in there. Still disappointed in my decisions on Moderna, but I actually have no qualms getting long if we keep bouncing here off 75s because we still have higher highs, higher lows. So what was my other? Oh yeah, SPUX we got filled on. Please just punch with that. We're staying in the rest of this position. I'm going to give this to break even. I'm cool with that on SPUX. We've been holding up really nicely here. Broadcom back above 163s. Let's see how this goes. We're going to maybe take out, if we keep rejecting here at 163.40s, we might take out a piece here early, but I really would like to wait to see what we do here at 164s. Gaurav telling me that AI is ripping. AI,
no way.
Is it on the, it's on the NY? Yeah, I know it always is. I always expect it not to be. Right. And that's why it's one of those ones I remember, yeah. But AI is on the NY, and AI is it ripping? It looks like it might be. We'll find out. Yeah, wow. Okay, is there news on you, AI?
Let me look.
Let's find out. I know it has a decent short float as far as I'm aware. I'm looking right now. I'm not seeing much.
I don't see it either.
Okay, there's a lot of social media attention on this one, but even then, pretty recently. I agree with you, A. Davis, saying don't trade for P&L. Trade the right setups in the P&L. We're confident on its own. I totally agree. That's what I've been saying a lot recently, so I shout that out. I appreciate you saying that. I love, though, this Moderna's return to this level. You know what, Sharif?
Get it.
Okay, we're going to set a dip buy here at 70s. It's good. I'm going to do 69s because that was honestly a level that was interesting in the book earlier. We're going to risk it into... Well, risk it into 20s, which was that level that we broke out from pretty violently. I can fully live with that. Let's see what we got here. Pretty small position. I don't think we'll get filled, but I'll have the dip buy. I'll have the feeler out just in case. AVGO, I am very proud of my ability to read the book on that. Because I honestly, like I said, I was like, oh, AVGO mistakes. And you know what, Adara? Those are entirely your fault. I want to shout out Neil's lesson because Neil said, you have to trade the market you're in, not the market you want to be in. And Sharif was sarcastic me with that. It was pretty funny. But basically, why are you adding at the high of day pretty much? What is happening here? What is going on? So learning from that mistake, when you take good trades, it doesn't matter what ticker you're trading. You just have to be taking trades. And when I say good, I don't, again, not talking about P&L. I'm talking about the progress, and I'm talking levels and risk that made sense. That's why I was cool adding here because the risk to me was still worth it. So let's see. I would like to see Broadcom at this point stay above 163, just given how well it broke back above that level after briefly curling below. Starbucks, I'm letting cook. Like I said, this thing, I'm gonna let that Starbucks brew here. Moderna, definitely not getting that fill. I'd like to see what Moderna does, though, at 67.20s. That was an level of resistance previously. If we break above that, actually, I'm okay going long. Okay, nice. Okay, so Moderna, we're going to take, if we hold up here, we're going to take we broke back below. We'll wait and see here. I'm okay going long 67s maybe and risking into 67.50s. Like I said, there are certain levels of Moderna that I've seen in the book, and I'm cool with those. When I realized your trading only has to make sense to you. If it makes sense to you, and it makes sense from a risk to reward perspective for you, for your type of style, you don't have to explain it to anybody. And I think that's one thing, I'm always still trying to get my head around, given that I've only ever traded on the show in front of everybody. I want to hear what you're excited about, though, here, Sharif.
Well, I traded Apple again at VWAP when we took 20 pennies on Apple, well, more actually, because we got it in the high 90s. We took 75s. It's having trouble with 22s, hence why I got out there at the whole dollar. And this was really predicated upon the future, at least holding for the moment that 19.3, and it did. And quite frankly, the future is looking ugly. with all these wicking candles. But when you look at it a little bit more, we are putting in higher lows and higher highs. We're above VWAP. We're in Greensville. We're up 0.2. We're certainly off the highs. That's fine there. But, you know, it's not as bad as, you know, I was looking originally. Because when you look and you see multiple topping tail candles, it's usually not a good look. In any event, the NQ doing decent over here. And I'm going to keep my eye on that. I just was telling the Katina man that Softy broke the 20 exponential on the 5 for the first time, essentially, since this candle over here at 11:10. But it's a couple of candles now. I want to see what this one does at VWAP. So it seems on a, you know, another, not a, you know, a secondary view. I've been looking at it all day, but Softy's been, it's been one of the weaker ones. Up, down 0.5% right now, was down more at the lows. If this works into VWAP, I'm liking the short around here, possibly 421.5. Again, you're not going to find me with a resting order in and around there. It's going to have to prove that it rejects. It looks strong at the moment. Great rounded bottom. Whoever took this off 419.75 is a dang genius, because you had support at 11 o'clock there, and then you had 1, 2, 3, 4 candles in a row. 5-minute candles, not one, that all bounced off that 419.75. So somebody is buying up a storm at 419.75 on MSFT. So we'll see if this one can work back into that 421 and a fifth, third, something like, or sorry, half to a third, and then I'll be interested in getting short on Softy right there. So that's a look on Microsoft. I'm going to set up though for the lesson as Apple's working right back into 222. I should mention a couple of things, though, before we start the lesson. I see you guys yelling in the chat about PLCE, and it's one of the small cap gappers that we've had on the side chart, and for good reason, because it's been a multi-day runner. You can see the price action from yesterday, and then that is basically 4 a.m. this morning. We continue. We're above the highs from yesterday. We just printed the high of the day on PLCE. It's up 23 and a third. It got into that 1150-ish area, 1147, technically the candle high. Nothing different for me on this one. It's got to come in to retest or come in closer to that 10 exponential on the 5 for me to want to trade this. I like this 1090 area. Now, I may front run it at 11. Why? Well, the 10 exponential is hanging out there. That's fine. I don't expect it to retrace all the way back into the 10 exponential. But then we have this double top there from 9:45 and 10 o'clock, or 9:50, excuse me, that rejected at 1090. So we got the 10 exponential and that double top all at 1090. My spidey sense says jump in front of 11 with a bit of a tighter stop, maybe through 1080 or 1075, because this one can give you 50. It's already printed 47s, and if you're assuming that the hold up here results in a curl back up, likelihood you might test those highs unless you consolidate. So PLCE setting up real good, real well here, guys. It's just a matter of how you get in and how you trade it. So good look. I'll remind you guys about the details on this in case y'all forgot. 143 million, market cap 8.8, essentially in 4/5 million shares traded on the day, and the float is 11.75 million. And let's find out what the short float is. And shout out the NOS boss and his boys at Trade Ideas. Oh yeah, I forgot about this one. 47.5% of the float is shorted or borrowed for short. That is, of course, up to 2 weeks old. That information may be accurate, it may not, depending on how many of those shorts got stopped out lately, because this thing's been pumping. So we can assume that the short float is higher. It may not be, though, at that 47.5% anymore, because, well, let's look at the price action lately. Here's the day. Let's look at the hourly. Yeah, this thing was, how long was this at? Okay, so let's just say, let's zoom out a little bit. Okay. So a lot of people could have been pushed out here through 10, because there was a lot of price action and then at 10. And then anybody shorting it from 10 onwards all the way down to 4.7 has been stopped out. So I don't know. This is an interesting one, man. We're going to keep this up. I'm not taking this off the side chart. It's a holdover from yesterday, but for good reason. So I'm just going to send it to you for a second there while I set up for the lesson.
Yeah, no worries. So Starbucks is chilling here. Accidental pun, I guess. So basically what we're going to do here, we're going to risk this. We're going to see, like I said, we're going to see what happens here. I'm basically using this 43 level, because once we broke above that, we stayed pretty strong. If we stay above 43s, I'll stay in Starbucks. I arguably could risk more, and we'll be evaluating that if there's anything that makes sense, but I don't want to be waffling too much. I just feel like one issue I've continuously noticed is I don't give trades enough risk. and then I get messed up, or I give them ridiculous risk on Broadcom earlier, and things get really dicey. Speaking of Broadcom, we're still in Broadcom. We are letting Broadcom right now. And the thing I want to say about Broadcom is, bro, why will you not break above 163.80s asking for a friend? I had pinned the area of resistance here at 164 because of that massive support earlier. And Broadcom's like, oh, I can be spicy before I even get there, Adara. Like, don't worry about me. And I'm like, okay, cool. Oh my God, you saw it?
Of course.
I saw her making this. Okay, this is really fun. But yeah, we have a great surprise for you guys in a minute there. But basically, yeah, so with Broadcom, what I like here is that we're still above this kind of area around 163.20s. That was an area that we really waffled with earlier. If we break below that level, I'll get out. I have no qualms, but I want to stay above. I want to stay in this for right now because I have no reason to leave. I want to be patient. Qs still, I think, in an uptrend. I'll show the Qs. I saw someone earlier like asking if we could show the Qs more. Absolutely, we could totally look at the Qs more for you guys. Totally understand that, and thank you for bringing that up. Also, guys, let us know in the chat if you're looking at any tickers. I can't believe I'm in 3 trades, Sharif, and they're all in the money as of right now. Like, this is a wild world we live in. But yeah, look at this 468.60 level. I like that we had this kind of flat bottom breakish move down, back up, popping up, bouncing off view up, coming lower, and then coming right back. The Q is really hard to read, very choppy, very churny. But right now, they are very to the upside. Starbucks curling back up here. AVGO, break 80s, please. Asking for a friend. But now we have time for a lesson, and one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Okay. We'll just start off being serious, and then when it presents itself, it presents itself. So welcome, traders. Today, we'll explore Fib fan lines, one of the most popular tools in technical analysis. You may already be familiar with the Fibonacci retracement levels, which are used to identify, obviously, areas of potential support and resistance. But these Fib fan lines extend this concept by using a set of angled lines that help predict how price may behave based on those Fibonacci ratios. So these lines can kind of give us clues about the potential trend reversals as well as those corrections. So hopefully by the end of the lesson, we'll understand how to draw these Fibonacci fan lines and how to apply them to your trading. And yes, I know I said Fibonacci this morning and I won't be able to lift that down, but apparently we're cooking and I don't mind.
We're cooking like in trades.
Hey.
You're Tim cooking today, I knew that.
I do see my fin hand. Yes, I got it. But I want to know, Ram, is this a hook over here? Like, what is this? How am I holding on to that? Is that a piece of salmon? It's a chopstick. Ram, this is why we got you around. But shout out, I love this design, by the way. And my head looks quite bulbous. The charts in the back. Yeah, of course. I see the trading. I see the tickers on the right.
The level of detail is crazy.
Is that the New York? Is that the New York skyline back there? Because Wall Street. Well, I don't know. Somehow we're cooking it there. We're throwing a barbecue. You and I. We're having a great time. We've got salmon. It's hibachi, benabachi. Yes, Ram. I didn't get that. Shout out to you. I love this. Shout out to Trader TV, man. All right, so we're going to talk as we typically do, but like, just the general nature of what these Fib fan lines are, so let's get right to it. They are trend lines drawn from a significant high or low point on the chart, and they follow the Fibonacci ratios, which we know, some of the more common ones are 38.2, you got 50, you got 61.8. We're not going to list them all. Your software will do that for you. So the most important thing to remember is these lines are angled projections of the Fibonacci ratio. So instead of drawing the horizontal lines like your software does, we draw angled lines that represent the retracement. So this is kind of how they look, and I'll show you how to draw them in a second, but you draw them from the area low and you look to the area high, and I'll promise you I'll explain in a second how to draw them, but this is kind of how they look and how price interacts with them. So how do we create them? How do we draw them on the chart? How do we use them? So the first thing to do is to identify a significant high and a significant low. Obviously, if you're in an uptrend, you're charting from low to high. If you're in a downtrend, you're charting from high to low. So the software will plot these lines starting from the point the trend starts from, and then it'll go to the high and it'll show you a series of horizontal lines there that represent these retracement levels. As we mentioned, 38.2, 50, 61.8. So these angled lines, essentially, they provide insight into where support and resistance may form as the price moves through time. Think of them essentially as dynamic areas of support and resistance that shift with time rather than staying fixed, okay? So for example, in an uptrend, the price might retrace downwards, right? At the first line it's going to interact with is that 38.2. That could act as support. You should be reactive as opposed to proactive here. However, if that 38.2% line gets broken, you're next looking at the one subsequent, which is the 50. Again, you need to be reactive, not proactive. So here's how you draw them. You find that area trough, and then you find the area crest. And what you do is you draw a horizontal line at the area crest, because this horizontal line is going to be important, because that's where you're going to draw the diagonal lines from. So let's do it IRL. Right now we did it on Apple. We'll do it again. So we're going to take that 165 level on Apple that everybody remembers is the support level. And the obvious area crest over here is that 237 that we printed, I think, in mid-July. So let's remove all these, remove all trend lines. There we go. So what we're going to do, we're going to take our Fib tool. Super easy. We're going to start from the area trough. We drag it all the way up to the area crest into that 237. Then we get a series of Fib ratios. We have 100% here, 70, what is that, 6.4, 61.8, 50, 38.2, all the Fib levels that we know. So now what we're going to do, we're going to take a horizontal line and we're going to draw it at the area crest. This is important because this is where we're going to base our intersections with the diagonal line. Here's what I mean. So this is the area trough. So we're going to first draw it into 61.8. So you intersect with the 61.8 level and that horizontal line. So there's your trend line there. Now we want to draw it through 50. So we go ahead, we draw a new trend line and it goes through 50. So now we have a couple of trend lines here, 61.8 and 50. And then third and finally, obviously this is not finally, you can do more. We're going to go through that 38.21. So we've got three Fib fan lines here off which we can base support and resistance. And already you can see that they did intersect here somewhat, and in fact, they're acting as resistance right now while previously acting as support. So, use them if you like, but this is exactly how you do them. You find an area trough, area crest, and you pull the Fib ratios off there, and then you draw diagonal lines through that vertical line. So I hope everybody understands that. Now let's talk about how they compare to these Gann lines that we talked about yesterday. So both rely, obviously, on angles and can help forecast potential support and resistance levels, but they come from two entirely different schools of thought. Fibonacci fan lines obviously are based on the well-known Fibonacci sequence, a mathematical series that occurs in nature and is often applied to the financial markets, while Gann lines, on the other hand, are purely focused on specific geometric angles. The one we talked about that's the most popular, or so says Gann, is that 45-degree angle that we talked about, which he says is the best representation for price through time and price, excuse me. So while both these tools are providing you with visual tools here to identify these key levels, Fib fan lines are anchored to the Fib ratios, which many traders believe have a natural connection to the market behavior. So maybe you're biased into the Fibs. So what are some of the practical applications that we can use using these Fib fan lines? Let's talk about the first one, identifying key areas of support and resistance. That's what we all want to do. In an uptrend, these Fib fan lines are drawn, as we mentioned, from significant lows to significant highs, and you're using those lines to act as potential areas of support and resistance. When the price retraces, it may or may not bounce off one of those lines before continuing upwards on its merry way. For example, if a price pulls back from a high and tests that 38.2% trend line initially, this could be a buying opportunity if it holds support. However, if it breaks, you should be looking to the next line at 50% to see if it holds up there, or that 61.8% for the next support level.
Also, apparently, Palantir's having an AIP con. Thank you for letting me know, Bears vs. Bulls. I tried to go on their website to look at that, and it immediately glitched my computer. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but I'll show you. I pulled it up.
The blue box thing that we talked about yesterday?
No, but look at that. It does some weird. There's some weird stuff happening. I'm gonna look. I'm not really sure what's going on there because I don't want to be panicking.
Yeah.
Shout out, but yeah, I'll take. Sorry, I had to. But I'll take a look there and see what's going on. Sorry, I just wanted to.
No worries. Thank you for that, Derek. Ooh. All right, and then the other practical use we can use these fib fan lines for is trend or gauging trend continuations and reversals. So one of the most useful aspects of Fibonacci fan lines is their ability to help identify whether a trend will either continue or reverse. So if a price finds support along 38.2 or 50% line and begins moving back upwards, this can indicate the end of the correction or the retracement, I shouldn't call it a correction, and the continuation back of the uptrend. If, however, it doesn't hold that 61.8% line, so most people will start looking at the breach of 61.8 as the possible beginnings of an all-out reversal and a break of that area trough off which we based our assessment. So we based it off the area trough. So don't forget that. 61.8, according to the textbook, is where we should be looking out for the outright reversal. It's also useful in gauging multiple time frame analysis. Okay? So like Gann lines, Fibonacci fan lines are applied to multiple time
Sorry,
frames.
Sharif, there's another news thing apparently too. Thank you, Brendan, for sending this to us. Apparently, CSX, this one's selling off here. Apparently, you're speaking at the 12th Annual Morgan Stanley Conference. CSX is... let's find out details of this. This one is CSX Corp, the same the company. So they dropped off pretty heavily there. So I just wanted to address that. They were in a range before that. So this is pretty distinct trend change for that company there, guys.
Thanks for that. Yeah, Day Trader Cut through that as well. Shout out to Brendo. Shout out to Day Trader Cut. Thank you, guys. Best community around. We can't have eyes on everything, so we always thank you for assisting us. So back to multiple time frame analysis here. So on the larger time frames like the weekly or the monthly charts, they provide broader perspective on key levels, but they're absolutely useful as well on shorter time frames, smaller time frames like the hour or the daily, the 15, where they can help identify shorter term trading opportunities. But it's also good to combine them with other indicators. As with any other technical analysis tool, these fib fan lines work best with other indicator or when used with other indicators. For instance, if a key moving average aligns with a fib fan line, this increases the likelihood that the level will act as either strong area of support or resistance, depending on whether you're coming from the north or the south. But like with all technical analysis, it is not without its criticisms and its limitations, so let's get right to that. Choosing a starting point here is one of the major limitations. So one challenge with these fib fan lines is that they depend on the selection of the correct starting point and the correct ending point. If you pick the wrong highs or lows, the lines may provide misleading signals for you, and this can lead to incorrect, interpretations of both areas of support and resistance. And there's also an uncertain predictability to them. So just like the Gann lines we talked about yesterday, these fib fan lines cannot guarantee the price will react exactly at these levels. Market conditions sometimes are often too complex, too volatile, and too nuanced for these retracement levels or geometry to factor in consistently. And there's also the tendency to overly rely, on Fibonacci ratios. While many traders swear up and down by these fib levels, there is no scientific proof, according to this textbook, that these ratios have an inherent connection with the market movement. So some traders argue that their significance or the significance of these levels is more psychologically based than actually based in mathematics. It becomes almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy where so many people are looking at it that it just ends up holding up. So that's what I have to say about that, and I hope everybody prints up a storm.
Thank you for letting us know about that. We're dipping into the pool of Fibonacci's. We'll be dipping into trade pool in a second here as well. But yeah, so I have in two trades, and one is Moderna here. I like that we have this, like I said, higher highs, higher lows. I liked. We added here, these are some planned additions here at those previous levels of support resistance. We break above 67.20. We add, I initially got in 67s, then we add again here. Bless you. At 67.50s when we broke above that level. We're going to take some profit out at 68. That is less a chart level and more. I've noticed Moderna being really spicy at these whole dollar levels, so I just want to clear just under half the position at that point. Starbucks, I'm chilling. Starbucks and I are chilling. I'm giving this to 50s because that was a bit of an area here. You can kind of see it on the chart as well. Bless you. So let's see what occurs on at that point on there. Moderna, we're just watching here as well. Okay, AVGO. AVGO, breathe. So, I just typed in a stock called AVO, which shout out to AVO, I guess. Also, though, we did have a super chat I want to talk about too from Davion Wade. So thank you, Davion Wade, for the $2 super chat. And Palantir just broke 52-week highs. Yeah, Palantir really strong there. AVGO quickly though. Look at that 163 hold. I got out because we broke below 163.30s. I should have given this more room. This is definitely going to break above 164s, but I didn't want to get back in and chase it too much. So we'll see what happens. It's cool. You miss out on trades. You make mistakes. Now, I think the main reason I'm disappointed is because my whole thing is I wanted to hold things for longer. So we'll see what happens there. Like, it's all good there, baby. This never would have gone against me had I stayed. It's just, it is what it is. And I need to work better on the risk management for sure. Devion Wade, thank you for the $2 super chat there. Palantir breaking new 52-week highs. It's curled back down here. Sorry, I will get that up ready. Thank you. Palantir has curled back down there, but yeah, like really nice look here still for the Alex Karp one. That is for sure. This push up here, just great push. And then we get that 35.40 level, bit of a bearish engulfing. So let's see how we hold up here at that pretty bearish looking doji earlier at 35.17s. But also, let's shout out to Trade the Pool. Thank you very much to our sponsors at Trade the Pool, because becoming a funded trader, you know what that means? That means trading with a firm's money instead of your own. And at Trade the Pool, you'll first complete an evaluation by hitting profit targets while managing risk. But once you pass that evaluation, you get access to up to $260,000 in buying power. That's awesome, right? And you get to keep up to 80% of your profits while the firm covers the risk, which makes it the perfect way to trade big without risking your own funds. Ready to become a funded trader? Join Trade the Pool. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description. Yeah, AVGO making me look a little silly here, breaking above that 164 beautifully. I'll pull that one back up there. But yeah, Palantir, I think if it can hold up around this level, it's not a bad look at all there, that 35.17 area. Yeah, AVGO, wow, Sharif, I got out of this early. Ooh. Okay, so I got out of AVGO. I should have given this way more room. I should have given this to at least break even. I didn't. Now we're popping higher here. It's all good though. If we come back and bounce, because this stock clearly respects previous support resistance. If we bounce at 163.75s, I will get back in there. We have Moderna just kissing my area here. You could see where it like nudged its head around where I was going to take profit and then came right back down. And let's try a different order type with that because that's not going to get filled. Starbucks, though, really struggling. If we break below this, like into this 50s area, you know what? We'll get it. We're going to see what we do here at 50s. We're bouncing a bit, so we'll stay in that for now. But yeah, this Moderna looks pretty good. I am a little disappointed in myself, though, for the management of the Broadcom. Yeah, thanks again to Trade the Pool for our lovely sponsors there. So we're all good there. Also, the other thing with Broadcom is if we can't break above this 164.30 level, or specifically more into 50s, because that was a bit of a support resistance level earlier, this could maybe be bearish, but I'm not shorting Broadcom here. I'm definitely going to wait and see what happens. My preferred trade in this would be to go long if we bounce off 173.80s.
Did you do the read?
We did do the read,
okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So how are you doing over here, though? Sure, I can gap for a bit longer.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good. I was just setting up for Trade the Pool. I didn't know you guys did.
No worries.
All right, guys, I just came back and I looked at my side chart and EGIO, oh baby, just printed day's high. So this one is Bamboozler in chief right now. I was waiting for this one to come back down. Oh, weird. Yes, 215. And it did right back up into 2.5. This one is strong, guys. It's really respecting the 10 exponential here, and it's respecting key areas of price action as well, like that 215 closing print. Multiple wicks off that. Look at the amount of rejections at this 215 area. It gives you that. It rockets up, comes back right into 215, and then quick as you like, it's back at 250-ish, 248. Technically the high of the day. This one's really strong, and what I like about this one is it didn't start its life in the pre-market or on in the opening hour or two. It really started its life midday, so it means it's still got that momentum to the upside. Possibly 11:45 is when it really broke through that range. It was trading at $1.25 at the highs, and then that 11:45 print came. 11:50 came, and it even had more volume. So the volume not dying out here. Each 5-minute candle has a minimum shares of around 2 million. So it's a fantastic look, man. EGIO, it's already traded 45.5 million shares. It's up 160%. Get it, Adara.
Thank you.
And it's continuing to go, and it just printed another high of the day, Adara. 260 now, blowing through that 248 level. Let's load up EGIO on the trading screen. Where is it at? I'm going to have to take this off. EGIO, GV. Wow, so many small cap gappers. Ridiculous. I don't even know where it is. I think it was on the Palantir screen and I took it off. Yes, there it is. Okay, let's go back over here. So yeah, we literally had, what's going on over there, Katina Man? Oh, that was Ram Ram? That was you? The Katina Man is 80 handles in, can you tell what I'm going to say? The dang money, Adara.
Oh, the dang money. Sorry.
T triple Qs? T triple Qs, baby. And, oh, you got it. Dollar on Apple, dollar on Nvidia, Katina Man. We're going to shout you out, as we always do, and we're going to tell everybody that there is another channel called More Trader TV Live, during which you're able to see all of the Katina Man's More Trader TV. There we go. You're able to see all the Katina Man's trades, all of Neil's trades. Here it is, baby. It's a dashboard. It's live. We'll have to watch an ad, obviously pay the bills because, well, things aren't free around this place. And here it is. This is the Katina Man, long, Apple, 221.10, Palantir, 34.71. We already called that one out. 118.63. Wrong price on Nvidia. It updates every 5 minutes, says Mark Katina Man. That's incorrect, he says. 65.03 long. Neil, are you in any positions? No, Neil's not. I just want to make sure. Neil is not in any positions, but if he usually is, you'll be able to see all his positions on the left side, and you'll be able to see all his last trade. He was trading up Starbucks, Intel, Nvidia, Donald John Trump. You can see what the Katina Man was trading over here. He had some trades on Micron, Nvidia, Apple, Nvidia, Palantir, T triple Qs. Shout out to him and all the other information that is available there on the screen. It is like kind of, I don't know, if you're from the Toronto area, you know what CP24 is. Basically just a data screen there that gives you all the information. So shout out to them, doing real great. Hey, Davis, can we get the live stream going again on that page, sir, please? What do you mean live stream? What live stream? Explain, hey, I don't really understand because this is the live stream. That one is kind of just their position. So let me know what you mean by that. Hey, Davis, one of the OGs there in the chat. What are you doing, Adara?
Yeah, okay, so someone asking, Tyler Cox asking what happened to Siri. I can guess. So yes, we talked about that yesterday. Basically, they had a business separation there with Liberty, and then they also underwent a stock split. That was what happened yesterday, so I just wanted to address that. That's a yesterday story. But Moderna right now, this is a today story. I'm really proud of myself because I've expressed my trepidation for SSR stocks. And we traded this semi-effectively. This short was a bit rough. I should have gotten out of this way earlier than I did, but it's all good there, baby. This mRNA here, we took out like just under half the position when we got above 68. We're going to trade out the next piece here. If we putting what we do here at that 68.30s level, I like that because we've kind of gapped in and around there. There's some kind of interesting candle interaction there. So I want to be respectful of that. We're going to take another piece out at 69s. Because A, what's life without whimsy, but also look at this interaction at 69s. To me, that is certainly a level. The next level of interest would be $70.50. We might save a tiny piece in the dream for that. Also, I got out of Starbucks. I said I'd see what Starbucks did in the 50s. Starbucks broke below 50s, broke below the 90 MA. I got out. Could have taken some profit up here, to be fair, but you know what? Pretty generally happy with what I did on this trade. Hey, Broadcom. I'm not getting back on this. I don't want to FOMO Broadcom right now, but I think it's worth noting. Look at where Broadcom projected. 164.50s. I mentioned that area earlier. Called out the level. I tried to trade it earlier. Called out the level. We'll see how this goes. The only way I would short this, and it would be like teeny tiny size, is 64s or 164 short. We're getting to 164.50, but I have a feeling this thing's going higher. I am not getting involved. I just think it's fascinating. Wow. That's the area that we rejected off. I can't believe I had 3 trades at a time at that point. I was like living high, Sharif. What a day, what a year.
Love it.
Let's see what's, yeah, right? You got to switch it up. You got to stay nimble. As Obi will say sometimes. Shout out to thank you to the Weekly Wit for for becoming a member. So we appreciate your support. We're trying to grow this community every single darn day. Tyler Cox also becoming a member. So look at that. So many members over here, guys. Get into the chat and let us know what ticker you're looking for because you can do that as long as you are a subscriber. So !join, space $sign, ticker. In case you're thinking, what am I voting for? Am I voting for the election? No. No, you are voting for what tickers you'd like Sean and Neil to look at in the afternoon segment.
God.
So the only way we could run that segment, which is brought to you by our lovely sponsors and friends at Real Trading, is if we have voting from you guys. So please let us know what tickers you are looking for. I'll be risking my mRNA into this 65.50s level because that was a previous level of support resistance. That was where my last ad was. So that's what we'll be getting out.
Wow.
Also, thank you to Graw for mentioning Roku. Roku's been on my side chart. I haven't done that much with it. Oh, Microsoft?
Bro, everything, Adara.
Yeah, that is true.
Everything is
Everything, pretty much.
skyrocketing right now, yeah.
Great
Well,
look.
not skyrocketing, but going up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Roku pushing higher. I would say what we do here at 74.90s because we could double top. But yeah, generally nice little uptrend here for Roku. I like the VWAP rejection, then bounce. Support resistance flips are always fun and something we talk a lot about on this show and specifically on this here desk. So Starbucks right back up. So again, proving why I am bad at risk management and why I'm trying to continue to work on that. How are you doing over here, Sharif? Also, guys, auction in 2 minutes. 30-year auction, 2 minutes.
Yeah, which is, I don't know, man. Are people front-running this auction, Adair? Because we're going to knock on the door here of 19.4. The Katina man just took 100 handles on the TQQQs, and here we go. We printed 19,388 at the high. That's the high of the day. We just printed 84, so we're 4 points lower. Do we find resistance here? What's the look? Or do we have to wait for 19.4? Or do we not find resistance? Do we keep going? I got to tell you, I was looking at this level on Google and this level on Microsoft because these are obvious key areas of resistance. This 154-ish level on Google rejected 3 times. Sure, you have that pop at the IB high into 154.42. But look where the closing prints are. They're all at 154. You tested that level again at 11.10 and you're right back there again. So is this a line in the sand? Do we take the short? Packing my patience. Same thing here with the soft one. Not the same setup exactly, but in the same sense, or in the sense that it comes into that key area of resistance that we got into earlier. That's that closing print from yesterday, essentially at $423, almost on the dot there. We just popped up into 422.97. So do we reject this level, or are we going to get some market continuity here? As Adara mentioned, we're waiting for that, what is it, the 30-year?
30-year.
30-year note auction to come out. Obviously, it's a longer dated one. So we'll keep tabs on that. That really is more influential for the mortgage markets, etc. I would submit to you that the shorter dated ones are more influential for the market, this market, that 2, that 5, that 10, the 30, more of a, well, it's not a hard and fast rule. In any event, I'm keeping an eye here at these highs, given that we're at the highs on the future, we're at the highs on some of these Mag 7 names, generally technical highs. Google, Microsoft, even Meta. Meta got into that same high again. Look at this 521, 522 area, multiple wicks, but now we're actually closing above there. So this is a really good move here, and if we can get continuity, I think we could break through 19.4. We're going to have to wait and see how the auction comes out. Maybe that's decisive. Amazon, same pump here. What a move up. We just printed a new high a day on the NQ September contract. That goes 19,392. We are above this print here at 11:10 a.m. and Apple coming back into that closing print from yesterday, 222.75. So it's also at a possible area of resistance if we do get that rejection. I'm not taking a trade until after this auction comes out, and now it is 1 o'clock, so we will be getting that reaction. Or re-auction, as Adara always says, quite soon. I see here the 30-year on my futures contract here. It's printing 4.360. 4.360 is what I'm seeing on the futures contract. The September 30th contract on the 30-year. Let's see what the results come out. Some of the chat always, well, not always, but they sometimes get the number ahead of us. So if you do, please tag Adara and I or in the chat and we'll report on that. Why would I buy a 30-year that's half a lifetime waiting for 4.3? Well, if you wouldn't feel that way, my man, if you locked in that 3-point-something in 2021 and then the rate shot up to 8-something. So, you know, there's two sides of the coin there for mortgages. You know, sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. It seems as if we are rejecting a little bit here, at least for the moment, at these key areas of resistance, whether it's this high of the day right now in the future, some of the levels that we already earmarked for you on some of the Mag 7 names. So we'll wait for that result to come out and let you know exactly what's up there. Otherwise, I'm not taking any trades right now. Let's wait for the reaction of the market. But it's been a good morning so far for all these markets. Here's the look. ES up 0.4, NQ up 0.6, the Dow up a quarter, the Russ up 1/5. What's going on over there?
Sean sent us this tweet.
The Katinam is $1.50 in the dang money.
Yeah, look at these TQs. Sean sent us this.
That's his 100 handle move there on the T triple dang Q. Shout out to Sean, great trade there, brother. Hope you're printing up multiple storms on that side of the desk. What are you looking at, Adair?
Yeah, so what I'm looking at here is the bond auction 4.015 here versus estimate of 4.314. That is what we got, or sorry, versus the previous of 4.314, so it was lower. Shout out to Taker Cut for also sending that. I just saw that popping up on Financial Juice. But here's the thing here. Moderna. So we got to that 6750 area. I was going to stop out, and we bounced beautifully in the book. I should have added. I tried to add too little, too late. Did not get filled, but we're still staying in this name. Let's see. I really like this area as a stop level, so we're going to keep this up. Look at us once again wicking into my area, and then I'm not getting filled. I'm like, come on, Moderna. You're really going to do this? Why do I not Moderna? I gave this like a couple cents away from what I wanted. Should I have given it like more? Like, Moderna, come on. You're not going to just wick into my level and not fill, are you? And it's like, yes, Adair, I will actually. But that's all good there, Moderna. I'm in Moderna. Starbucks is needing to make me look a little foolish for where I got out, as is AVGO. Okay, I'm just meowing because I'm disappointed with the choices there. If we bounce here off 164.30s, which again, a level I liked, that's maybe a long, you risk getting to like 164s, but I don't want to rush into this. I clearly should have held this for longer. That is my cross to bear. And it is my broad to calm, I guess. And I must live with that. So there we go. This is a really interesting look. Not a great auction, says Kenny D. Yeah, the reauction was pretty muted. That is for sure. Right? Yeah, these cues at this double top is very interesting to me.
So many like that right now, Dara.
Right? There's a lot of, Google to me honestly looks rangy. Shout out to Gaurav. Okay, I just typed Google. I think I spelled just like the name of the villain in, I think that was Bagul, but shout out to the movie Sinister. Hopefully I didn't spoil that for anybody. But this could be a bit of a sinister look here for Google. If I can spell this correctly, there we go. Second time's the charm. Also, yeah, shout out to Google, because the reason we say Google, and maybe this is just a me thing, I have accidentally pulled up Goog before and been like, oh my God, why am I not in the trade? Because I was actually in Google. So if Google actually like does that 154.10 rejection, I think this is a nice little looking range. Right now it's a W pattern because it was certainly a W if you were long, but I think if we push back below, that could be a decent range. I am watching that one for potential rejection. Yeah, Broadcom still have eyes on. Moderna looking really similar to Google here, but, not Moderna, MU, Micron, another ticker that starts with M that has had a catalyst today. But MU actually looking similar to Google, but honestly a little bit more bullish to me in that we're actually having the bounce off of VWAP, which is a pretty nice little look. Look at this. Bounce off VWAP, flat bottom break. I thought, nope, we're pushing higher. Let's see if it's able to reclaim this area here that was a pretty hard rejection at 87. 70s, and Moderna filled us, so I am happy with that. Please just dang punch. My next level is 69s, not just because of Life Without Whimsy. Also, it is a level here on the book, but because it's Moderna and I trust it little, we're actually going to get out some here at 68 90s. So we're going to get out a 2/3 of the remaining position at that level. Let's see if you can hold up here. Sharif, happy with this Moderna trade. Happy I held this. Again, should have held some of the other trades, but you Moderna, and you just keep going and growing. Hey, Davis, saying our guy, Sean, called that TQQ push-up, and he is printing like a Xerox copier. Yes, he is. He's printing up several storms, as Sharif, the mustachioed man to my right, might say. But yeah, good look there. Really happy with what this market's doing here. Trying to learn every single day. Moderna, let's see if we keep up pushing up higher here.
Storms.
We're going to do the lesson soon here, so not to worry there, guys. Can't believe it's already 1 p.m. Sharif, time flies.
Yeah, it
time
is,
flies when you're having fun in these markets.
It is, and I've been like going through an existential crisis deciding here whether to go long or short on Softy. We're not getting that 19.4 touch, nor really blowing through the highs here on the NQ. I got one eye on the NQ, the other on Softy, because Softy's at that 423 level. The closing print from yesterday, it rejected off it earlier. It got back into it again. I was unsure how to trade this. I've been watching this since the 70s, and now it's almost at, it's 50 pennies higher right now. This looks like it's going Softy. Dang, son. But the future isn't. That's the thing. The future stalled out right here while Softy's breaking through highs. So, that may be a problem in and of itself, trying to chart on one and execute on the other. But it's the second biggest Is it the second? What's NVIDIA?
I think it might be the largest right now.
Is it? Let's find out.
It or Apple,
2.9 trillion for NVIDIA. What's Softy at here? 3.1 Katina man for the soft one. And then the dead one is at almost 4, 3.3, yeah.
Wow.
So that's the look. So we'll see exactly what we get there. I've been keeping an eye here. Microsoft, what are we doing, Microsoft? Are we going long or what? The future isn't continuing. But Microsoft's well above that. Well, not well. It's 30 pennies. They're going more, 36 pennies here above that closing print at 423. It's continuing to go. It doesn't look like it wants to stop. You're not getting that continuity except on Microsoft and Google. Google's also breaking through the highs at 154. It's also at $0.25. Sure, the high on Google is 154.42, but all the closing prints, we made this very clear. We're south of 154 now. It's the first time on the day we're actually clearing that on a closing basis. It looks like we are going to go up here. And oh, wow, what a move up by Softy there. That was awfully strong there. Good thing I didn't short it, but I'm disappointed in myself for not having taken it long. I was just unsure, guys, because we were at a critical level. I'll just be very honest with you here. Didn't have the confidence in that trade because we were at critical technical resistance levels. So it could have gone either way. So let's see exactly what we get here. Good strength for Softy. You're not seeing that on Amazon, though. Amazon's coming back off that 186 touch, so it doesn't have continuity. Meta's got the continuity. Google's got it. Even the dead one right now has got it. It's trying to break into positive on the day. Shout out to the Katina man, who's still printing on that side of the desk. We're going to shout him out. And we're going to look at Microsoft here, Derek, because we're almost at high a day on MSFT. We're about 40 pennies off that right now, while the others zig and zag. It's these three up here, Meta, Microsoft, and Google doing the absolute most in a good way, and then Apple lagging behind a little bit, but breaking through the closing print from yesterday. Let's have a look at what the small cap gappers are doing. Are they doing anything interesting here, or is it going to be kind of a large cap kind of afternoon? GVO is still in play. Woof is still in play. Woof's back in play. It broke down below VWAP. Now it's knocking the door of 490 again. We know that 499 was the high of the day, and we couldn't breach at. PLCE still in play. Love still in play. Even Very, which has done almost nothing in terms of volume, is still in play because above VWAP. So lots of stuff. EGIO, put some respect on this one's name. We didn't even have enough respect to give it a ticker, Adara.
How dare you?
I know. I'm not a good person. So let's go ahead and do that. EGIO, these are all in play. So it's not just the large caps that are going today. Literally the only one that aren't in play right now are GV and AILE. All the other 6 small cap gappers that are moving right now are in play. And Apple is moving here, and Softy is on the way up. I suck. It seems like NVIDIA is kind of keeping the market down here because I don't know, it's zigging and zagging at 119.50 all the while. The other Mag 7 names are making moves. Tesla's kind of dead, though. Tesla, Amazon, and NVIDIA kind of holding us back here, Dare.
Yeah, I saw the Tesla's kind of dead, and I shorted the Tesla's kind of dead. I like that you said that because I've been short Tesla for like a couple minutes here.
Nice.
Really small position. So I'm giving this to 230. Why am I giving this to 230? 230 was a huge level on Tesla, not just because it's 230. You can see it on the chart as well. I liked it as a short, although I know there were these bottoming tail candles. Use the balance, the evidence to go short here. And the reason I went short here is, sorry, tired trading brain entered the chat. The reason I went short here is because I liked the way it looked on the book. We were really struggling with 229.50s on the book. Now, of course, we're above them, but this is still kind of an anemic bounce when you look at what the market's doing, when you look at what the other Mag 7s are doing. So again, balance the evidence tells me short Tesla. Once again, I'm in 3 trades. Is this a lot? Oh, for sure. And you know what? Honestly, Tesla, this book is, I'm going to like watch Tesla before I even go look at my other friends here. Though both my other friends are printing, so that's cool. Yeah, Tesla here, I don't love this pop here into this area. Let's see, we rejected 80s. I have the book up here so we could still like mad dash panic if we need to. Digital Dash, shout out to one of the only good songs on that Drake Future album from 2015, What a Time to Be Alive. But yeah, what a time to be alive in these markets, Sharif. Moderna here, I am still in this long. We're going to take out my next last 2/3 of the position, just below 69s, because what's life without whimsy, and also what's life without respecting these levels of support resistance on the chart? There's no life without respecting those levels, Sharif.
No.
So we're still long here. We're still vibing in Moderna. Starbucks, I got into a short here. We had the long, worked out okay. Let's go. Starbucks, we're definitely going to see what we do here at 25s. If we break below 25s, we're going to, I don't want to add to this position because like, I don't want to be too overzealous, but
What?
25 was a huge level, so I want to respect that. If there's any interaction here, I will add. I've said this before, I have zero qualms about doing unplanned DCAs. If A, I'm already in the money on the trade when I do it, I'm not going to add against me. And B, if it's based on what I see in the book. Other than that, I won't do it. If it's something I like in the book and the risk management makes sense, and I'm not adding against my position, we're all good there, baby. This Tesla, looking even more bearish, to be quite honest with you, Sharif, though we keep still bouncing off 50s. I'll be watching the book on TSLA, guys. If there's any tickers you're looking at, and if you're in like 3 trades too, and you're like, what is my life? I love trading, go markets. Whatever you're feeling right now, if you want to look Neil and Sean to give you their wisdom,
Bang.
their confidence and their knee lids on those tickers, please let us know in the chat. Exclamation point, join, space, $, that ticker. We're going to go to Tesla here because I no longer feel confident about this trade. And that is, like I said, if you don't feel confident in trade anymore, you owe it to yourself to get out. So got out there. 86 is actually risk less than I was planning on it. Moderna filling us though. So good look there. Moderna giving us the 69s. Pretend I didn't say that. Don't like how I worded that. I still have like a third of the last part of my position here, but also in terms of like the largest amount I had, I have 10% of the largest amount of the position. Let's see how this goes. I would love to see what we do here at 69.60s, but honestly, I'd love to hold this till 70.60s. At this point, we're going to be giving to prior bar low. So we're at this currently risking into, what is this, 68.30s? That might be a little much. Let's see what the 30-minute. Like I said, the risk management portion, while in the trades, is the biggest part I'm still working on. We'll give this to 68, 66s. That feels pretty reasonable to me. And also, Sean wants us to show his Apple trade too. So go, Sean, go Apple. Great look here. We've got some winners on this side of the desk, and Sean's still winning on that side of the desk as well. So go markets. Go Trader TV, go Starbucks. Oh my gosh, Starbucks. Okay, we're gonna add here at if we get back to 25s, we're gonna add because we broke below 25s. I'll be adding a couple shares here at 25s because man, I love this look. We're gonna start taking profit at 10s on SPUX. Wow, Sharif, what a day. Sorry, we'll get the lesson started soon, guys. I apologize. I just want to make sure all of my little children are doing well and tucked into bed and eating their protein before we do that. I'll set that up while I hear about your Microsoft trade because I love that little beak water. That's a smooth, sneaky little trade.
Yeah, well, it didn't give me many opportunities to retrace, as you can see by the umpteen amount of green candles here. So once it did, I took the opportunity, got in 68s, just wet my beak there at 82s. I'm looking for a 19.4 break, man, on the future. If we can go through 19.4 and decisively, not anemically, with where we wick a little above, a little bit below, I think Softy can get going here and get through that $424 level. Apple's going, Tesla's going, Google and Meta were already going. Softy's off the high. It's about 26 pennies off the high. I'd like to see a 424 break. I've put my stop already on this one. I've got to adjust it though because I did wet my beak. So that means that we have a new area that I need to defend. So we'll go and put it at the exact same area over here and we'll give it room there. So that's a look. And we're going to put that stop in place. We're good to go there. Keeping my eye on the markets, knowing full well that the bottom could drop off because we're at that critical area of resistance, and I won't be convinced otherwise. Whether or not we break through it or reject, that's a different story, but this is an important area on the market. It is 19.4. It is near the IB highs, a lot of near highs for the Mag 7 as well, not just the future. So good look right now as we break through the level. So I'm not taking anything out here on Softy. If I'll either get stopped out or I'll print above 424. It's going to be either or. We'll see which one comes first. I'm seeing some weakness now, though. Come in on a little bit here on Meta, a little bit here on Softy. You know, you don't really want to say weakness, but I'm just not seeing that continuity that we were seeing earlier. You saw it on Softy consistently here. Where did it really start? It started at about 10-1. We really got going green candle wise with, you know, just one momentary pullback over here. Could this kind of be the same look, the one that we're in right now, similar to the one over here? So we'll see. We'll see. I'd like something above 424. Well, whether we get it or not, an entirely different story. Tesla, to build on this point as well, Tesla getting into that 230 area. Tesla did have some resistance though. Look at that, 1110 and 1105, right at that 230 and a quarter. However, the closing prints were south of 230. So if we close above here, that'll be novel, at least intraday. So that's a look. We'll keep packing our patience looking there. Softy in, Softy in the mid 80s, but finding some resistance, and down it comes. So Softy on the way down here as we possibly reject 19.4. Not saying we will, but packing my patience, see if I get stopped out on the rest. My eyes on Softy here in case it drops off and there is a vacuum of illiquidity. I don't want to be part of that. We're technically 3 pennies out of the money right now on Softy. Anticipated this would happen, but that's why we put the stop exactly where it is. I'm, still unsure whether we break through 424 or what the situation is, but now it's Tesla going. Apple going a little bit, even Amazon finding a little support here at the 10 exponential on the 5, looking to curl up. We were talking smack about Amazon, how it wasn't participating in the market move here to the upside through maybe that 19.4 touch. Well, it just found its footing at the 10 exponential, trying to bounce back above that 185 and 2/3. So some strength coming into Microsoft at the moment. I don't want to paper hand this trade on Microsoft. I'd rather hold on to it, get stopped out, or take a print above 424. That's just kind of how I feel. So we'll keep looking there. Let's look at the small cap gappers, see what they're up to as well. Haven't been trading those in a hot minute. What are we doing here? Yeah, we're not really parabolic or on anything, but Wolf is still holding up. Like I said, PLC also holding up. Jivo, respectable, and EGIO equally as respectable. Both of them kind of almost all of them a little bit in this consolidated phase, but above key areas of technical support, so still absolutely tradable. We shall see what we get there. Dara.
Yeah, so we were going to start the lesson. Just so you guys know, updates on trades. I did get, I added to Starbucks. We're going to give this here to 98.49, so going to let it go 10 cents against me. I wrote it, like I said, I'm trying to risk more in these positions, and that was also my entry level for the initial part of the position. Meanwhile, we're going to get out of Moderna here because we're breaking below that 68.80s level, and I don't want to let this go that much against me. Oh, did I accidentally add to the... Oh, no, we're out. We're good. We're good out of Moderna. Starbucks still cooking. And you know what else is cooking? The Fibonacci is cooking here. I mean, we're this truly disturbing piece of Photoshop art. Long Adobe. I'm joking. I don't know if they made this on Adobe, but it is worth noting because we do actually have Adobe earnings tomorrow. And I love that we have this Fibonacci. Shout out as well to Roger in the chat saying spicy. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if the Fibonacci Sharif's cooking is spicy. I might not be able to eat it if it is. But let's talk here about how we understand Fib fan lines. So Fibonacci, not Fibonacci. Fibonacci fan lines are basically trend lines that are going to be drawn from a significant high or low point here on the chart, and they follow the Fibonacci ratio. So you've got 38.2%, 50%, and 61.8%. But the biggest thing to remember here is that these lines are angled projections of the Fibonacci ratio. So instead of drawing horizontal levels, which you might be familiar with when you think of Fibonacci, shout out to Danielle Shea, who's going to be on the show tonight. She looks at Fibs, I know. Trader Tammy, the Fibonacci princess, also, as you can tell by her name, looks at Fibs as well. But so basically, these are going to be drawing angled trend lines representing Fibonacci retracements instead of the horizontal levels. So look at these Fibonacci fan lines. You can see how all of these lines, these diagonals, will be intersecting with vertical, they spelled vertical wrong in this chart, good times, intersecting the vertical lines at the Fibonacci retracement level. So that's something to look at. But how are these lines created? So basically what you're going to do first is identify a significant high and significant low on the chart. At that point, you're going to have the software plotting these lines angled from the starting point of the trend using 38.2, 50%, and 61.8% retracement levels. Then you're going to have these angled lines providing some insight here. Once you do this, they'll provide some insight into the support and resistance levels where they might form there as the price moves throughout time. You want to think of them, though, as dynamic support and resistance levels that shift with time rather than staying fixed. We know one of the bigger things with the gone lines yesterday was that they were a little bit more fixed. So this is one key difference here between fibs and gons. So example here of how you can use these fib diagonals is in an uptrend, you might have the price retracing downwards, and the first line, so for example, the 38.2%, that could act to support. But if you got the price breaking through that, however, it could find support at the 50% line, and so on and so forth. So here's how you draw fib fans. You've got your reference points here. Look at your fibs. Then you can see, intersect. So you're going to draw these fans here at the intersecting levels of what you've got here with your fib line. So it's really, you're using your fib lines to make the fib fans. But how do these compare to gone lines? Well, both tools do rely on angles there, and they provide potential support and resistance levels, but they come from really different schools of thought. Fib fans are going to be based here on the well-known fib sequence, which is a mathematical series that occurs in nature, and it's often applied to the financial markets. But gone lines focus specifically on geometric angles like the 45-degree angle rather than using mathematical sequence. So they're based more on angles in life instead of mathing it out. Also, it's important to note they do both provide visual tools for identifying levels, but fib fans are anchored to fib ratios, which many traders believe have a natural connection to market behavior. There's a lot of people who believe fibs have natural levels to other things in life as well, so shout out to that. Here's how you practically apply, though, Fibonacci fan lines. How do you use them in trading? We'll tell you, Sharif. For one, they help identify support resistance levels. So in an uptrend, the fib fans drawn from a significant low will act as potential support zones, but when the price retraces, it might bounce off one of the lines before continuing to move upwards. So, for example, if you've got the price pulling back here from a high to test the 38.2% fib fan line, that could signal a buying opportunity if it holds as support. If it breaks, though, we might look into the 50 or 61% lines here for the next support level. Trend continuation and reversal is another way to play this. So one of the most useful aspects of fib fans is their ability to help identify whether a price will continue or reverse, or trend, will continue or reverse. If a price finds support along the 38.2% or the 50% line, and then it continues to move upward again, this can indicate a continuation of the trend. But if it fails, are you good here?
Oh, I'm killing it.
Oh, you're talking to the stock.
Yeah, I'm talking to the stock.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you wanted to throw. Do you want to throw?
Oh, no. I'm just yelling at the stock. It's all
Yell
good,
at the stock, Sharif. Kill it.
Yeah.
Keep killing it there. But yes, if the price fails to hold the 61.8% level, that could signal a deeper correction or a trend reversal is underway. Multi-time frame analysis is huge too, because like gone lines, they can be applied to multiple time frames and on larger time frames. So for example, the weekly or the monthly time frame, what you're going to see here is they can help identify providing a broader, they can help identify like a broader perspective, right, on key levels, but on smaller time frames like hourly or daily charts, they can help identify short-term trading opportunities. So they're good for short-term opportunities for looking them shorter time frames. The longer the time frame, the better, broader perspective you're getting there. How do you combine them, though, with other indicators? So much like other technical tools, fib fan lines work best in confluence. You want the balance of the evidence. You don't just want one piece of evidence. When you watch Law & Order, Sam Waterston's got a whole gamut of evidence. They might have last-minute witnesses. They might have, like, ME testimony there. You're going to have a whole breadth of things that you're looking at, and you want that with your trade ideas as well. So, for instance, if you've got a key moving average aligning.
Oh, you saw that pop, eh?
You've got
Jeez Louise.
I got out of Starbucks with that
Dara.
pop, by the way, too. I just want to note that. Yeah. So, exactly as planned there. So, for example, here, if you've got a key moving average aligning with a fib fan, this could increase the likelihood that the level will act as support or as resistance. So, what you want to do here is look at as well at the criticism and limitations, because there's, good and bad to everything. So one thing that some people have issues with is choosing the starting point. So one challenge with fib fans is that they depend on the selection of the correct starting point for the trend. So if you pick the wrong high or the wrong low, the lines might provide misleading signals, which can lead to incorrect interpretations of support and resistance levels, which we don't want. And just like gone lines, fib fans cannot guarantee that the price will react exactly at these levels. So market conditions are often too complex to rely solely on geometric patterns or mathematical ratios. It's also worth noting that there can be over-reliance on fib ratios because many traders stare at by the levels, even though there is no scientific proof, those are words, that these ratios have an inherent connection to market movements. And some traders argue the significance of the levels is more psychological than mathematical. Basically, the long and short of it, pun very intended, are that fib fan lines are a unique way and a dynamic way to identify potential support and resistance by using the fib sequence, and by understanding how to draw these lines to combine them with other indicators and analysis tools, you could enhance your ability to predict the market. Sorry, guys, my brain had a little bit of a push back there, but yeah, super happy to be here with you guys, and also super happy to grab some coffee if you would like any.
Interrupt?
What? Please. Yeah, please.
Yes, OpenAI. Thank you to White Nubian Kings. That's awesome. Here it is. Thank you for that. Brief. OpenAI. This is news coming out of OpenAI. Obviously, we can be associated with Microsoft, but that's whatever. OpenAI says we're releasing OpenAI O1 Mini, a cost-efficient reasoning model. We've been hearing about more of these small language models, SLMs, that are going to be on our phone and devices that don't need to be connected to the cloud. Apparently, I don't know, there's really not much more than this, but that's what they're saying there. Let's click this link and find out. Well, I probably should see where it goes before I show it to you guys. Right, Adair? You never really know, right?
Yeah, you know.
Here it is. Yeah, it goes to OpenAI's website. They are announcing the OpenAI O1 Mini Advanced Cost-Efficient Reasoning. I haven't read all this, obviously, but that's coming in from OpenAI. We obviously knew that they had another headline today with that $150 billion valuation, the last funding round there. I believe they raised about $8.5 billion based on that 150. And I was just telling Adair when we got in the morning, I'm like, didn't they just raise at 100? She's like, I think it's kind of the same funding round there. It's just the number was misreported with that 100. Or different person. We're really unsure, but we've gotten two numbers here, both 100 million, and now today we're hearing about 150 million. And now this headline comes in. Small language models could be kind of the new thing. We'll see. Maybe they don't take off. Maybe they do. We're still in the very nascent stage of AI. There goes 424 on Softy, and we are now above 19.4 on the NQ September contract. 19,417 is the high. And all the Mag 7, they're all going up, baby. Are they all in Greensville? Yes, they are. All of them, with Microsoft being the biggest laggard on the day. Funny enough, I had a sick trade right now on Microsoft today. I was able to take, what did I take? I think I took 45, oh no, more. I took about more than that, man. I got in at 18s. I took it out at 60, whatever that is. 40 some odd pennies there. 40 some odd pennies. It's blowing through 424, though, so should have held on to a piece for the dream. Zigging and zagging with 424, but a great entry. And look, toot my own horn or anything over here, but we kept waxing poetic about this 423 area as a level of resistance. Well, guess what? It clears it, comes back down, and look at that hammer candle off 423, man. I was happy when I got into this trade. I'm even happier that I executed on it. We'll see what we can get with some of these Mag 7 names going into the afternoon. 223.07s just got printed on AAPL. Sorry, 223.05s just got printed here on AAPL on this last little candle. The 27s are the IB, not the IB high, the high of the day, excuse me, that we printed at 1110. We haven't been up here since that time. Do we reject off this general 223 area? Is this a possible double top on Apple? Let me tell you, man, Apple has been ranging up multiple storms as of lately. Like, look at this. It can't even get above the pre-market high. And then it's found itself in a nice little range here with 221.5 to the downside, essentially 223 to the upside. If you look at Apple on, like, let's go the half. It's pretty rangy here. I mean, ever since that big boy drop on September 3rd, we've been ranging, trying to hold 220 as the low. This seems to me like accumulation, whether to the downside or the upside. It feels like accumulation after a bit of a bigger move, obviously, to the upside. So we'll keep eyes on this one, but 223 has been a solid level since basically the 9th, with multiple rejections off 223. So does today change? We'll see. We put in higher lows than yesterday and higher
Hi-ho, hi-ho.
Yeah, thank God.
It's
thank
off
you.
to Apple we go.
Yeah. Save me with that. Thank you. You saved me with that.
Did I? Okay, so I could tell if you're being sarcastic or not. I'll keep singing, because that's what I do.
No, I actually didn't read it that way, but a good save it there. Basically, on the 10th, we printed that low that we printed on the 9th. We've been putting in successively higher lows and higher highs since that time, but 223 still acting as a bit of a top and has been for the last 4 days, 4 trading days, that is. So we'll keep an eye here on Apple and see whether or not it rejects that general 223 area. It already did a big boy retracement. I didn't even notice. Okay, so got into 223.07, right down Adara, right into 22 and a third, trying, though, to hold that closing print from yesterday. That comes at 222 and 2/3. Funny enough, trying to hold up there. We'll see what we get. Let's flip to some of these small cap gappers, see how they were doing. So Woof is back at VWAP here, but I got to tell you, there wasn't a whole lot of respect between Woof and VWAP last time. It did breach it decisively, got down to about that 455, 458, put in a lower high. So 3 successive lower highs right now on Woof. I don't want to trade it off VWAP. It didn't set up properly the last time. Don't want to take my chances this time. PLCE, though, continuing to go. Now, it's not giving you that parabolic move like it was during the midday at around 12 and change, but it's been respectful of the 10 moving average on the 5. This high, though, kind of the line in the sand, that 11 3/4. Let's see if it's able to take that out. GEVO, also holding above the volume weighted average price, and EGIO as well above the 10 exponential. So those ones are still in play, but they're not moving in the same way, obviously, as they were before, as the trading volume dies off a little bit here. Dara, looks like we are now below again, 19.4. Do we hold it this time, though? I'd like to see a 19.4 hold. Let's see what we get. What are you looking at?
Yeah, I mean, I shorted the Qs here. I have a feeling this isn't going to work out. I'm risking into 472.50s. Like, I'm not, to be clear, I'm getting out before it hits that level. Like, I don't want to short the Qs into high of day as my risk. Like, no. But I like the way we hit that 472. Also, to be clear, do I love the idea of shorting the Qs while I'm long a larger tech name? Not necessarily, but okay, that's not the ticker, Dara. Broadcom has been moving, like it's been kind of strong on its own, in its own right, which is why I was cool with that. So also both positions on both really strong, or really small, sorry. And I'm risking 50 cents on both. Again, just working with my risk parameters there. So for Broadcom, we will add if we break above that 165.30 area. I have a feeling though, this might be a bit dicey. I'm gonna watch out just given the way we're kind of stacking here. I think this could be a bit of a reversion, but we're going to stay in Broadcom for now. I have no reason to leave as it currently stands. That 140.64.50 level has just been so wild that I think I owe it at least that much risk. We're about 10 cents in the money on Broadcom, but about 10 cents out, well now like 20 cents out of the money on the Qs. I have a feeling the Q trade, I'm going to get pushed out of here, so we'll just be watching out for that. But guys, if there's any tickers you're watching out for, you're like, hey, what did Sean trade? What did Neil trade? What should I trade? I don't know. You guys, you always want to trade your own book, right? But also, let us know here if there's any tickers you're looking at, and Sean and Neil can give you some insights on that. They can provide some Neilage, some confidence, shedding some light on those tickers. And you're like, how do I vote, though? Do I have to go to a polling station? No. Just make sure you're a subscriber and get in that chat. Exclamation point join, space, $, ticker. Let us know. That's what we really want to hear there. Also, shout out to Nicole Harris in the chat mentioning that news with Apple and the FDA approval with the hearing aids. I don't want to keep waxing poetic about that. We know how I feel about that. I think it's a really, really great opportunity there for them, or an opportunity.
Are you gonna buy them?
Okay, I don't know if I'll buy them because like the idea of having to wear like headphones to have a hearing aid, I feel like you might look kind of like talking to people. You know what I mean?
No, but for like, wouldn't it work as a practical thing if you had?
That is practical too.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep. Yeah, you're right. That is.
I don't know. I'm not trying to put any pressure on you.
No.
I'm a shareholder and everything.
No, I don't feel pressured. That's true. I don't feel pressured. I am curious. I would probably have to go and ask a lot of questions. I think it's cool. I know they had like their medical person at the meeting. I think they should probably train the Apple employees. I would say make sure that they know everything 100%. Because I have a feeling like you go in to ask them like, oh, what? So I would make sure
if you're going to sell a medical device, you got to be ready for it.
That's what I'm trying to say. That would be my biggest thing. That being said, I've talked about it enough that I think it's pretty clear. I think it's a really good opportunity. I hope that this opportunity is capitalized on well by the company is what I'll say to that.
I like that.
Also, the Q's still kind of whiffling here. AVGO kind of whiffling here. If we get any kind of pickup here above 20s, I'll get out of this Q's early. And I have no issue not going to my full stop. Like I said, if I don't like what I see in the book, I trust that more. Case in point, Tesla, I didn't give the whole area of risk, and thank goodness I didn't. So that's what I'm trying to say here. Let's see what this candle tells us, though, in the Q's, because this last candle looking pretty bullish, and then we reject 30s. Wow, Sharif. Wow, things are getting spicy in this market. I'm staying in the short for now. Well, I'm just the Qs. I don't know what we're trying to do here, Sharif. I'm feeling very bamboozled. I agree with you,
but it's higher lows.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I'm trying to get into Microsoft here. Microsoft's just going, guys. It's not letting me in. I fat fingered in and I fat fingered out. I got in. I got out by accident over here. I'm trying to get back in. It's not letting me in. It's going without me here. Softy strong. I'm assuming that it is the OpenAI news, possibly giving Microsoft a bit of a push up, because Microsoft was the laggard on the day in Mag 7 world. It still technically is. It's only up Apple now is. Excuse me, I stand corrected. Apple's only up 0.1. Softy a third. Are we in yet, bro? We're still not getting filled here. I'm trying to get filled at a better price. I don't want to chase this. I kind of feel that we might be holding up here. It's hard to tell, obviously. Dara making that point very clear. Hard to tell what the future is doing here. And by future, I'm talking about the NQ, because we're trading these tech names.
You never know what the future holds.
Oh, yeah, that's actually true. That's not even that's not controversial.
It's a pun and it's true.
There you go. So I'm trying to get in. It's, let's see here, a little bit of a pullback. Do we get printed now? We're about to get printed. We're about to get printed, and we're not printed, Adara, and it's going without us. So frustrating. That's okay. That's all right. Into a new high goes Microsoft, 424.75. I'm kind of annoyed with this because that's a mistake, but that's just the way it is. We'll see if we can weasel our way in at a better price. If it does come down a little bit, 19,422 now, the high of the day on MSF or on the NQ September contract. Let's see what we do here. Do we get in on the soft one here? What are the other Mag 7 names doing? Yeah, I'm going long here on Softy. So we are long on Microsoft. Let's set up said beak wetters possibly here at these levels. See what we get. If we can get a nice little pump up. We already got a pump up and we're already 20 pennies in the money. Go soft one. Let's see if we can get up into maybe 425. That'd be a nice little move. Oh, baby. All right, we moved up into the 80s. Let's see if we can weasel up into the 90s, and I'll flatten out over here. Let's go, Microsoft, getting that nice OpenAI midday bump, or so it seems. Up 0.4 now, was negative on the day, and the biggest laggard, no question about it. Let's go print 90s, Microsoft. I want to get out of 425, baby. We're still printing mid to low 80s right now. Anything in the 90 prints, and I'm Gonzino on this name. But it has been a good day. The future's continuing to move up in the green direction. Let's go, Micro. Somebody's selling at 86 and 85 here. Why is it? There it is, Adara. Boom.
So happy for you.
Thank you. I appreciate you. On MSFT, it is now on the way to 425 or so it seems, up 0.44%. All the Mag 7 names with greenery right now.
Yeah, so 420 Bud Monster asking if there's any AI stocks with announcements after hours or for today. Not sure, not that I'm aware of, right? But we do have Adobe earnings tonight, which could get kind of spicy. I am excited to trade Adobe because I have not traded it ever, and now I'm a lot more comfortable trading these spready stocks live. They are my oeuvre, so I'm very excited for that. Also, speaking of spready stocks, I'm still long I'm long Avgo. Avgo is pretty spready here, but here's my thing with Avgo. I don't like that we have just had gone and made a nice push up here in the Qs and Broadcom kind of stagnant. I did add as we got above 165.25s. That was planned. We're now risking here, just to make sure I'm risking the same amount, we're going to risk into 164.95s. That was also a pretty nice level of support. So I'm like cool with risking that. We're going to see what we do here at 165.60s. I don't really want to add any more here just because that's kind of what got me in that first Broadcom trade. But to be fair, I have to remind myself, it's not the ad that got me, it's the place I added and kind of the flagrant disrespect for market things that was going on with that trade. So it's all good there. I tried to get long Starbucks as well. I did not get filled. It doesn't look like I'm going to. SPOX, I was short. I got out. Like, I like that we're still kind of trying to climb these highs, but it's not the best opportunity in the market as of right now. Was happy with that long earlier. The short idea was decent, but it was definitely should have been more of a scalp. I want to shout out Obi once again for calling that one out for me. Literally was just lurking behind. He was like, I was like, I'm sure. And she was like, what are you looking at?
Did he
I was
startle
like,
you though?
No, not really. I don't know how he didn't startle me, but he did not startle me. So shout out there, because that is a gift.
I had to adjust my entire approach.
Yeah, and he's good at it now. So Sharif will approach the desk differently because he knows I'll jump if he doesn't. He'll like walk in front so I can see him in my peripherals and I know he's on his way.
I know, I do it on purpose because like anytime I'd come through the back, like you guys can't see it, but we have like this pole separating this trading desk from the big desk where Brendo and I and Adara sit in the morning, and you can't really see who's coming because the pole blocks, and we have a monster TV hanging on it as well. So he used to come from the back, just like sneak in on her, and she would always like jump and turn, right?
Yeah, it's pretty violent. It's pretty violent.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It's good times.
Good times.
All right, did you have anything?
Oh, yeah, you can kind of see the setup there.
There
so
it is.
The makeup. Yeah, so Sharif would come from behind the makeup thing, and I'd never see him.
So I come from around the side, if you guys can see, but now I come from this side as opposed to that side. You're doing a hell of a job there, Ram. I probably hard to control that, but yeah, good times on this desk, man. We always have a lot of good times.
Sorry, there was a super chat from Michelle Hebert. Thank you for the $2 super chat. BTC bull flag on weekly. Okay, I actually was looking at the BTC chart earlier today on the weekly, and I forget what I thought I saw, but I will pull it up because maybe I'll remember if I see it. Sorry, that's not actually analysis, but okay. Oh, that's the daily. I was going to say the daily. It looks a little dicey to me. Okay. Hey, this could be a bull flag on the weekly. The other thing I'm seeing on the weekly that is maybe of note here is we have lower highs and lower lows. So that, to be fair, could be a bull flag. We did this nice push here off that 40,000 level, but we got like 72,000, right? 69,000, 67,000, 64, 58. So I think that could be, I would probably wait and see what we do here with regards to this close, because I don't want to say flat bottom break, nor do I want to say like, you know, this is a breakdown. We, again, do have that bullish push up, but the lower highs to me are worth noting. I would say wait to see how it shakes out on that. Chris J saying I need more coffee. We always need more coffee. I feel you, Chris J. But make sure you get your coffee so you're energized before that afternoon segment, which is brought to you by Real Trading. If you want to hear some real trades, if you want insight on your real trades, get into the chat. Let us know.
Bang.
Exclamation point. Join. Space. $, whatever ticker you're looking at. And Neil and Sean will provide their wisdoms, their insight, and their knowledge on those tickers for you as we do every single day. Also, we are out of Broadcom here if we are able to get filled, because like I said, oh yeah, there we go. We got filled exactly how I wanted to. If we stay below 165, I'm going short here because you got to flip the style up. But if they hate Sharif, let them hate.
They're going to hate.
And you have to watch the money pile up.
will pile up just like this. There, it's going to do it just like that. There you go.
Yes.
Now it's blocking all our positions, which is fine.
Right? Also, yeah, happy with the management here. I think I might have gotten wicked out, but it's all good there, baby. How are you doing over here, Sharif?
I'm keeping my eye on Apple, Adair, because it just printed another new high, $223.23. Shout out to the OJMJ. As it comes back down, let's see if it tests 223 as a level of support. We continue to move up on the future. We've cleared 19.4, I'd say by some distance, about 35 points or so. In fact, it is 35 points. 19,435 is the look right now on the NQ September contract. And I'm trying to figure out how to weasel into this trade. Now, I don't know why I want to trade Apple. Maybe because of this 223 level. Why am I looking at Apple right now? There's stronger names. Google looks better than Apple at this level, quite frankly. Even Amazon. Let me show you what I'm seeing right now.
Oh, Amazon looks good.
Amazon looks good at this level. Higher lows, but it's having trouble with 186. I'd love it off the 10 exponential on the 5, as it's been, very much respectful of the last little bit. In fact, I'd say since 110, so the better part of half an hour now, all the bounces into the 10 exponential have been bought up, but this 186 level on AMZN is a bit elusive right now for the long. So we'll see if that can continue in the right direction. Apple coming into 223 as the future pulls back in, still above 19.4 though. Is this an entry opportunity for me on Apple? Now, if I get into this trade, I can't just use 223 as my out. That's not a good idea because it's likely going to breach 223. It's at it right now, and there it goes. So putting the stop on the south side of the whole dollar is not the move. Now, what is the move, though? Well, the 10 exponential. Go ahead.
I just said tell us, Sharif.
I'm thinking out loud.
Sorry.
So the area over here that I see the 10 exponential at is 222.75. I can choose to front run that and try to get in a little bit higher in case it doesn't come back in. Whoa, it might come back in. Apple's really turning around here. Is this a buying opportunity, though? All right. So let's get in here, and I'm going to risk to the bottom side of the 10 exponential. Okay. So I'm trying to think about this. Yeah, indecision. I don't like this candle on Apple, man. That's an inverse hammer candle. It's not what I want, but the level is good, though, and the future's holding up. I'm going long. All right, so we're long. Where are we long? I don't even know. I can't see because the thing, it's not your fault. Let's put a beak wetter possibly in front of the whole dollar here to de-risk. Can't see still where I'm long. I'm going to have to look at my blotter. We are long 86s. Okay, so we'll see what we get. Now, I'm going to have to put my stop in on this one. I'd like a hold of the 10 exponential, which I already mentioned is at $0.75. So we're going to put our stop in and around that area for there. All right, we already took the print, baby, as we moved up into the whole dollar there. Already took the print at 223. Now let's see if it bounces back up. I'm going to have to change my stop quick as you like because I have it for the entire amount. So we'll go ahead and put that in there. And we shall wait to see what we get. Now I'm going to wait on the other side, the north side of that 223 level. If I don't get stopped out, I'd like to wet my beak on the other side. So we're just going to put it, there is a topping tail there at 10. So I'm going to put it at 8s and see if it can print in and around there. Here comes 223 again. All right, so we're printing 3s now. If we print 8s, I'm going to be done with this trade. So let's see what we get. A little zig and zag at the whole dollar. Some good buying, though, but definitely nothing like what we're seeing on Meta and on Softy, because they're both back up into, Softy's back up at highs into 425, so more strength there and more strength on Tesla as well. Even NVIDIA is back in the game. It's above 120. Okay, so the future looks like it wants to go again. Does the dead one want to go? Do you want to print me, bro? Print me, bro. Trust me, bro. I'm waiting at 8s. I'm not asking for too much here. Let's go. So we'll pack our patience and see what happens there. But the future is getting a nice little pump up there, Dara. A new high of day on the NQ September contract. It is 19,437. Good luck today for these large cap names as we recover somewhat from some of the selling that we've been seeing lately. So good luck, packing my patience. And hopefully I'll print at 8s, but it looks like we are going to reject 223 here. So I'm either going to have to wait or get stopped out. What are you looking at?
Yeah, I'm short Broadcom. I was long Broadcom, then I flipped to short Broadcom. I don't know how I feel about this. Like I said, my read in the stock has been kind of iffy. And then this ad, I meant to add this a little bit later, and I forgot I don't have like the buttons. I need to set up some buttons tonight. I set up some buttons and some exit rules tonight, Sharif. Like, oh my gosh.
Which ones do you want to do?
Like literally so many buttons. I need like to figure out my stops. I need to figure out the one that lets you like go before the price hits. Like so you just have it sitting there and then it hits and you get
Resting
filled.
order?
Pardon?
A resting order?
That. Well, no. I have those. The one where it's like you want to get more short, but it's already working for you. But if you press the order now, it's gonna fill you right away. So you want to wait. See what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what happened to me here.
I'm not sure how to set it up here though. I know on my platform.
We'll figure it. Yeah, I'll figure it out. But that was kind of the issue here is I wanted to wait for it to get below 50s, but instead I didn't, and then it was an issue. I'm waiting to see what we do here at 165s because I think if we keep rejecting 165s, we're good here. Let's see what happens though, because we've every time we look like we're gonna hold that 165s, we reject it. Like I said, we need to work more on the exit rules for when I'm adding to positions that I'm fully aware of. Cough, cough, this hot mess of a long earlier here today. And I have a feeling we're gonna get pushed out of this if we get above this 165, but I like the concept of this short. I just probably should have scalped everything out at 164.50s instead of adding where I didn't necessarily want to add. So it's all good there. You learn, you live, you laugh, you love, and you keep going and keep making trades. Nice. So we're gonna get out of that here though. That is all good. I mean, it's not, the trade could have been executed a lot better than it was, but it happened. We tried it. A stop limit order. That's what Saad's saying. I think that might be it, but I also, okay, so like you're in the money, right? And then it's like in a long, right? If you want to add, so like exactly in Broadcom, I wanted to add at 165, 40s or 50s, but then I couldn't press it there. And then by the time I got there, it had already pushed up. Right? I don't know if this is making sense. That's the type of order I want. I'll have to figure out what that means. But also, I can't believe it's already, you have 1 minute left to vote, guys. Vote, exclamation point, join space, $ ticker. Let us know here what tickers you're voting for because we want to know what's making you tick on this very exciting day in the markets. Wow, Moderna still maturing to the upside. Look at that look. Higher, low, higher, low, higher, low, higher, low, higher, high. Steady uptrend. I clearly got out of this long a bit early, but great look here for mRNA. Let's see what it does at $70.50 because that is definitely going to be a pretty interesting level here. Tesla's been chopping and churning. I've totally missed that. Look at, wow, Tesla. First it does this kind of bull flag, a bear flag fake out, then pops higher, pop lower, then we come back up here, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. Now we hold here at 229.80s. I think this could break out. I don't know what we do in the book. I have no problem taking a quick scalp long, and I would wait to see what we do here. If we get back to 230s and we hold, I will scalp that to the upside. Qs, what are you up to, Qs? Qs here, 472.80. Shout out to Sean going #real trading in the chat. I agree, and I think real trading is about learning every single day. It's about taking the real wins and the real L's in front of you guys. Like I had Moderna. This was like a multi-dollar winner. You take some losers as well, and that's I think what happens. You get take the good with the bad, the happy with the sad, and you get a little bit of everything. And that's what I like about the show. We all have different styles. We all have different types of tickers we trade, and we're going to give you different opportunities and approaches to the market. And I think that's pretty dope. So shout out to that. What Unity, some people talking about here. So let's take a look at Unity to unite us all. Unity. Great move up. Then we get this topping tail candle here, push lower. Let's see what we do with the 90 MA. Because this to me looks like it could reject even further. Palantir looking kind of similar here. Look at this. We kind of made a higher low from that like 34.90 area. Let's see what we do with VWAP and PLTR. What are you doing over here,
I'm
Sharif?
waiting for a print, Adara. That's not coming because for whatever reason, it won't break through that 10s, but Apple's still above the 10 exponential on the 5. So my anticipation is I'll get printed in a hot second here as we're printing 8s. I'm waiting for 8s to cross. I don't know why all of a sudden the seller's at 8. That's kind of a random number to have seller at. That's why I put the out there so that I wouldn't encounter the issue of the 10. So we'll pack our patience. Apple having certainly trouble with 223, but it is still above the 10 exponential on the 5. The future, not even looking back right now. It is on its way here to 19,400 and dang 50, Katina man. And we're printing 8s, and we got the print at Dare. We took another 20 penny winner there on AAPL. Where'd I get in? I got in 86. What do you say? Thank you, Katina man. We've been trading Apple today a bunch. I also traded, what else I trade today? The Katina man's got NVIDIA 118 long, bro. You get the bottoms every time. That's so frustrating, Katina man. That's a great trade, though, brother. We're going to have to shout you out there. The Katina man's long from over here. Basically, look, the Katina man is a support and resistance trader. And this is a beautiful area with which to intersect. Look at the pre-market high over here with that 118 and a quarter. Comes back in there. He's like, nuh-uh. Takes it long. Shout out to him, man. Up 2.92%. By the way, I was telling the boys on the floor this. Jensen was at the White House. I didn't know Jensen was going to the White House.
I told you, I read like weird reports about it, and they were so last minute-y.
And like the thing is, when Jensen goes to the White House, I'd like to know. Right? They're probably like, yo, bro, why is China using your AI GPUs with AWS? Didn't we tell you not to sell them?
It's the weirdest story.
Like, are we gonna, is Wayne Brady gonna, Neil knows exactly what I'm talking about there. I hope people understood that in the chat. If you watch Chappelle's show, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not going to finish it, but you can check it out, Chappelle's show. Yeah, no, seriously, though, that would have been nice to know. Obviously, NVIDIA having a decent day today, up almost 3%. Jensen was speaking to reporters after the meeting. I don't know if he met with Biden or met with some of his economic advisors or Gina Raimondo.
Gina Raimondo.
Yeah, that's what I figures, because she's a commerce secretary. So she's probably involved. And her department, Adara, is the one that's actually putting the restrictions on export. So, makes sense that she'd be involved there. So, yeah, no information coming out from that just yet. Let's look at NVIDIA. Let's see the ticker over here or the news blotter, see if anything came out about what Jensen was saying earlier. Nothing that I'm seeing here. Reporters live, CNBC reporters catch up with NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang after White House meeting, says, I trust that the Biden admin is going to make great decisions. We're at the beginning of a new industrial revolution. We have to strive for American technology to be the safest, best choice. Okay, Jensen.
That's very weird and sci-fi movie-ish. Okay. Thanks,
right? So that's the commentary that came there from Jensen. Yeah, not much else for me to do here. A couple of minutes until I weasel my way up to the big desk. I just want to let you know that the soft one is absolutely exploding to the high side. Just printed up a new high there. Great recovery today from Microsoft. It was dead weight literally all day. Then we got news about this new small language model going to be released by OpenAI, and that seemed to be the catalyst there, because since that time, the softie has not looked back. That's a beautiful move up from the lows there at 419.75, breaking through 425, and quite frankly, knocking the door of 426. So fantastic day for Microsoft today, and I'd say it looks the best in the afternoon. It's not the biggest percentage winner on the day. Let's put some respect on NVIDIA's name, but definitely a great recovery, Adara, midday for Microsoft.
Yeah, great recovery midday there for that stock. This whole market has been wild. I am in 2 longs to kind of end the day here. We'll see how both of these go, because we're on both right now. Tesla, I am long. I got long 230.50s. I want to talk about this. I got long 230.50s, and I know I said I was going to wait for 230s, and I was like, Adara, if the 230.50 holds, you can risk this pretty decently here. Get that push up. Nice. Okay, these both popped up here. Good look for Broadcom. I know I said I was going to trade this list because some questionable things were happening, but we're not adding to this. We're just going to let this chill. We have a decent size here. We're going to see what we do here at 70s, but I would love a 166 print, so we're going to actually get ready to get out a decent amount of this at 60. I'm good to go. Do you want to say goodbye to the peoples? Okay. Sharif does not want to say goodbye. I'm joking. Yeah, shout out to Sharif, because you'll see him again in like 2 seconds there. But yeah, Sharif will be there in the end there. Not in the end. He'll be there in the green screen for you guys with Sean and Neil with our audience segment. If you're already kind of switching over to the stream from the morning, into the afternoon stream, and you're like, hey, How do I vote? You guys have to watch our stream to find out. Just get in the chat, !Dwayne space $ ticker, but not right now. Wait for tomorrow. Thank you very much to Bears versus Bulls saying personal thank you for today's lesson. It was the first time seeing. Personal thank you to Bears versus Bulls for everything you do every single day here. This Tesla definitely weaker than the market here. I think if we get this pushback above 230.50, it's going to go, and that's why I'm willing to give it 50 cents, because I think this thing goes, it's going to go. We do have some higher lows. We have a bit of a bullish flag-ish look on that, so we're willing to try this name. And this is the thing, sometimes we'll take these trades heading into the end of the midday. If I see stuff I like, I'm going to go after it with aggression, a viciousness. Let's get going. Moderna getting close to a decent short level, says Derek S. Yeah, I've got some levels on Moderna. I was trading that one fairly aggressively earlier. Yeah, I agree. Look at this pause here. And Moderna, every time we get to the whole level, it's worth noting, the book on Moderna gets like so choppy. Like that thing is like, do I have to keep going? Must I? Must I really? So just be aware of that. We did get out of Teslas. We broke below the 230 there. And Broadcom getting a little weaker there as well, but we're still in that trade. But yeah, with regards to Moderna here, that 70, certainly some chop and churn. This looks more bearish than some of these other whole dollar level pauses, though the 68 was also pretty bearish. I would say though, look what we did at 68. We quadunk. Then we come back to that previous support level and we bounce. So I would watch to see what we do here. If we can hold that previous, this power bar low here around 69.55s, I think that's an okay look. Yeah, hopefully you guys have had a pretty interesting trading day. Also, I get stuff out of Tesla and it comes back. Good times. Yeah, tonight things to do are work on some better, more cohesive exit rules for adding to positions, and also figure out some order keys. So it should be a pretty exciting night for me, that is for sure. Hopefully you guys have some fun Thursday plans ahead of Adobe earnings tomorrow night. Also, you won't be getting Adobe. It's not going to be Obi and I in the midday, but Obi will be on the show tomorrow as well. So that should be pretty fun as well there. Tesla not going to drop far, says Steve Byron. Yeah, I think that could be true. I might take another pop at this if we hold support at 230.25s. I don't know. I think my read on Tesla has been a bit of a messla today, and I think it could hold, but I don't want to be risking too aggressively here, especially heading into the end of my trading session because I only trade on the midday. That being said, I think Broadcom, which I had more size on here anyway, I think Broadcom might be holding up. So let's see what we do here. We're going to also get a small position here in Tesla if we hold these 25s. We're going to take some shares here. We're going to risk it into, and it's already pushed lower here. I'm going to risk it into 230s. I have a feeling this Tesla is not necessarily going to hold, but I like the look here. Unity, Unity canceling its runtime fees. That was the catalyst in Unity. Let's take another look at Unity, which I have not a sinking feeling. That makes that sound depressing. I have a feeling it might be on the run down, a sneaking suspicion. Here's the thing though, this is interesting. I said this 19 could be bearish, right? But now we flipped from resisting or rejecting the 90 MA to bouncing off it. Let's see if we can keep bouncing, because I think maybe if this Unity bounces off 19, then we clear 1940s, and then that push above 1960s. Given the strength of the market, that could be a good look. Let's take one last look here at our futures before we switch to our future, which is going to be the afternoon show. Qs pushing higher here. Nice look, higher highs, higher lows for the Qs. What about the SPY, you may ask? Let's spy the SPY for you guys before we say bye-bye to you guys, or I say goodbye, because you're going to see Sharif with that green screen in 2 seconds. Yeah, the SPY here looking pretty darn good as well, up about 0.85% near that 560 level, which has been pretty interesting for the SPY. Let's see, we get a bit of a doji here at 559.20, but that is going to be the end of our show. I hope you guys had as much fun as we did in this very exciting trading week and afternoon. We'll see you guys tomorrow. It'll be the same bat time and the same bat channel, but right now we're going to flip over to that big desk and that green screen. See you guys.
Welcome to the Afternoon Rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every day. Neil and Sean are